stepping up in a huge way. They've been loyal supporters for years, helping make sure that every child in Georgia's foster care system receives gifts on Christmas morning. So a big thank you to the team at Rocco's European Garage, who are committed to making a difference. And join us in supporting Clark's Christmas Kids to help bring joy to children who deserve it this holiday season.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 12 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm Sabrina Cupid on this December 8th, and our top story this hour is concerning your money and our local economy. New here at noon.
Locals in the Atlanta metro area who want to become homeowners, they're in a tough spot.
A majority of homes on the market here in metro Atlanta are unaffordable right now. That according to new analysis from Bankrate. The median price of a home here now just under $400,000. Bankrate analyst Alex Gailey.
Housing economists say that we're likely in for a slow, gradual improvement rather than any sort of quick fix. So we're talking, several years before we really see any substantial improvement in affordability.
But she says the good news is here in metro Atlanta, we are building more housing. Nationally, fewer than 3 in 10 homes are considered affordable. The study finds that Miami is the metro area where affordable homes are the most difficult to find, Pittsburgh the least. While we're talking about your money, credit card debt's piling up, but at a slower rate than last year.
Wallet Home says U.S. shoppers added $16 billion so far, which brings the total credit card debt to over $1 trillion. Still, the additional amount of credit card debt is 27% less than what was added last year.
Mark Mayfield says the average credit card debt per household heading into the holidays is topping $11,000 right now. All right, your weather for today, it's going to be mostly cloudy, dry. It's breezy. Afternoon highs around 46. Those winds gusting at about 20 miles an hour, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She'll have Atlanta Radio's only 5-day forecast coming up at 12:05. Tsunami warnings are in effect right now. Waves hitting Japan's east coast after a 7.6 magnitude earthquake hit off the coastline. The height of the waves vary in thousands. Warned to evacuate to higher ground. There is damage being reported due to that earthquake, but no deaths reported so far. This is happening now here at home. Atlanta police looking for clues after a man in his 30s is found shot and killed on Cornell Boulevard in southwest Atlanta. The body found near a parked car. Homicide investigators working right now to determine the circumstances surrounding that murder, including a motive. Anybody with information being asked to call Crime Stoppers. All right, you may want to double check, make sure your car does not have any recalls or report. This noon from Jeff Gilbert says if you have one, it could be deadly.
About 22% of vehicles that have recently been recalled for non-deploying airbags have not yet been fixed. A Wall Street Journal analysis found 12 people have died because of that. Government safety officials say they can order a car maker to issue a recall, but they cannot order an owner to comply.
Georgia farmers may be interested in this story. The Trump administration planning to unveil a long-awaited farm aid package today. Stacey Lynn has more on that.
The package includes up to $12 billion given to crop farmers under the Department of Agriculture's Farmer Bridge Assistance Program. The action comes as the farming industry has faced financial hardship due to low crop prices, the fallout over tariffs, and other economic challenges. The president is expected to be joined by farmers when he makes the announcement this afternoon.
And that's expected around 2 o'clock. The president also says he's planning to sign an executive order regarding artificial intelligence this week that would put the federal government in charge of regulation. However, some states are likely to be pushed back against that. The Supreme Court hearing arguments today over whether the president can fire members of an independent agency. It's related to Trump's firing of Rebecca Kelly Slaughter, a member of the Federal Trade Commission. Slaughter was one of 2 Democratic commissioners fired by Trump earlier this year. At the state capitol today, the governor and the first lady lighting up the Christmas tree inside the rotunda.
May all Georgians have a safe and joyous holiday season.
And that massive 26-foot red cedar tree was donated by a family in Lindale, Georgia. Gas prices are down. AAA reporting today's national average is $2.95 for a gallon of regular unleaded. That's down about a nickel from last week and about 12 cents from a month ago. It's the first time in 4 years that gas prices have dipped below $3 a gallon. We are paying an average of about $2.79 here in Georgia. California, by the way, has the most expensive gasoline at $4.47 a gallon. The cheapest gas is in Oklahoma, where they're paying $2.36 a gallon. Let's take a look at the markets. We're in the red. The Dow down right now 238 points at 47,716. So the Dow's down 0.5%. NASDAQ, S&P also in negative territory. It's coming up on 12:05. That means it's time for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams in the WSB 24-hour traffic center. He has a look at your roads.
Hey, Sabrina. Still watching some slow traffic on 75 and northbound between Ackworth and between Kennesaw and Ackworth due to a crash in Ackworth on 75 north at Highway 92 on the left shoulder. Got some trouble down by the airport. It is blocking the right lane of the 285 westbound ramp to I-85, causing you to slow as you leave Riverdale Road, and still have that left lane construction in DeKalb, 20 eastbound near Panola. Right lane construction in Gwinnett County as you drive through Lawrenceville, Highway 316 eastbound at High Hope Road. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
It's time now for Atlanta Radio's only 5-day forecast, sponsored here at noon by Shoemake, the official plumber of Atlanta. Here's WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards.
Cloudy skies, breezy today as drier air moves through. High 46. Clear and cold tonight with lows in the low 30s. Some areas of fog possible for tomorrow morning. Tomorrow afternoon, a mix of sun and clouds, high 49. Sunny and warmer on Wednesday, highs climbing to the mid to upper 50s. Staying dry with sunshine for Thursday and Friday. Morning lows in the 30s, daytime highs in the mid to upper 50s.
It's 48 degrees in Decatur, 46 in Roswell, 47 degrees here in Midtown Atlanta. We'll have more news at 12:30, breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome. It is Eric Erickson here. Delighted to have you with me. 2 weeks till Christmas. I hope you got your shopping done. I have not yet begun to shop. The phone number, 877-973-7425. Should you wish to be on the program, I would be delighted to have you. We got a packed show today, so you're going to listen to the whole thing, and if you miss any of it, get the podcast or the live stream that recirculates over the next 24 hours. Text Eric, E-R-I-C-K, to 33777. You can get those links. We got to begin with Ilhan Omar and her comments over the weekend, because I actually think the Republican Party should use her comments. We're having large conversations about the Somali immigrants in Minnesota. And I want to say something out of the gate here. The president referred to them all as garbage, Somalis as garbage. I think there are garbage people on planet Earth. Nick Fuentes, for example. But I always hesitate to label a class of people, a group of people, an ethnicity as garbage, because I think it's bad form. We're all created in the image and likeness of God, so there can be garbage fallen people. But I'm real hesitant to say that any group of people are garbage. So I want to be careful on that one, and I think the president, as president of the United States, should be as well. And we should note that a number of the Somalis he's referring to are actually American citizens. In fact, in Minnesota, it's the largest enclave of Somalis in the country, and there are a lot of them who are Americans. However, that doesn't mean there aren't individual garbage people. I mean, Candace Owens, Nick Fuentes, we can go down the list of garbage people. And that includes some of these scammers in Minnesota who were sending money back to Somalia for Al-Shabaab, the Al-Qaeda affiliated group. And that gets me to Ilhan Omar, and I personally believe that the administration should make her the face of this, in part because it's true, she married her brother. And it's also true, she got money from these scammers. Now, they have downplayed this issue, but Ben Weingarten writes at The Federalist and Real Clear Politics Investigations, says Ilhan Omar received campaign funds originally reported from 3 of the Feeding Our Food scandal fraudsters, totaling $7,400. Evidence from campaign finance filings suggests she actually received funds from at least 8 individuals, charged or associated in evidence at trial, totaling nearly double that amount. Court documents also show the U.S. government obtained at least some records connecting Ilhan Omar to the fraudsters. These were prominent people in the Somali community who backed her campaign for Congress, and Ilhan Omar on television with Margaret Brennan on CBS's Face the Nation said this.
I want to ask you about something else that the architect of the president's immigration policy, Stephen Miller, said. On Thanksgiving Day, he posted, "No magic transformation occurs when failed states cross borders. At scale, migrants and their descendants recreate the conditions and terrors of their broken homelands." What do you make of this argument of failure to assimilate and sort of ruining America? How do you understand this?
I mean, when I think about Stephen Miller and his white supremacist rhetoric, it reminds me, yes, it reminds me of the way the Nazis described Jewish people in Germany. And, you know, as we know, there have been many immigrants who've tried to come to the United States who've turned back, one of them being Jewish immigrants. We know the way that people were described who were coming from Ireland, Irish immigrants. We know the way in which people were described back then when they were Italian immigrants. And to me, you know, we're yes, of course, ethnically Somali. We are in this country as Americans. Yeah. We are citizens. We are productive part of this nation, and we will continue to be.
Essentially, in her word salad, she is saying that assimilation is Nazism. To require immigrants to this country to assimilate is Nazism. I gotta tell you that I think that there is a major problem, and when we arrive at this point where you have immigrants saying we don't have to assimilate into the country, you got a real problem, and you got a real problem because we need we need assimilation. Now, you know, so I want to step back. There is the actress Tippi Hedren. Now, you may not know the actress Tippi Hedren. If you don't, she was a very famous Natalie K. Tippi Hedren. She was discovered by Alfred Hitchcock. She was in The Birds. She was in Marnie, Citizen Ruth, and one of the things that she was known for was with the massive wave of Vietnamese immigrants into the United States. She actually was able to help them develop jobs in the nail salon industry in Southern California. And if I recall right, there was a tie to her or another actress, and this one may be urban legend, though it's been reported on it, about the donut industry. In fact, if you go into Southern California now across the country, there are a lot of Vietnamese in this country who they participate in the donut industry. There is actually a small shop in my town in very rural Louisiana. It's a Vietnamese family that makes donuts, and they're very good. And in my wife's town, Carrollton, Georgia, there's a donut shop run by a Vietnamese family. They're very good. Really, really good donuts. And it was people in this country helping the Vietnamese when they came to this country after the fall of South Vietnam, helping them integrate into culture and get jobs. And the Vietnamese came to this country with the fall of Saigon, and they got jobs in industries like nail salons, the donut industry, and the like, and they learned English, and they assimilated into the United States, and they never asked us to learn Vietnamese. They never expected us to provide slums for them to live in. They came and they worked and they integrated. We see this often where immigrant communities come to the United States and they begin to assimilate into the United States. Look at the Cuban immigrants of South Florida. Cuban immigrants in South Florida are deeply American. You've got now Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio in the United States Senate. You've got a number of members of Congress who are Cuban, and they would love to go back to Cuba. They would love for their families to go back to Cuba, but they're deeply American. Unfortunately, the left in the United States has embraced this idea that we should be able to have immigrants come into this country and not assimilate. This, by the way, is the freak out about Europe. Online this weekend, until the college football playoff fighting happened, everybody was fighting about Europe, which we'll get to and why they were getting to it. But the European elite have allowed immigrants to come into their countries and flat out refuse to assimilate. Now, the Indians in United Kingdom have fully assimilated because India was part of the British Empire for a very long time. In fact, the Indians have done a marvelous job of improving British cuisine. Instead of beans on toast, you can get a great bowl of curry in London now that's as good as anything you'll get in India, and it's quite delicious. And they are deeply patriotic. They have assimilated as part of the British Empire. But you have a massive number of Turks in Germany, people from the Middle East and North Africa and France, and a lot of people from Southeast Asia and Pakistan and the like in Great Britain that have flat out refused to assimilate into culture. Maybe they speak the language, but they certainly don't have the customs and values of those people. And that comes from a progressive ideology that when immigrants come to the country, they can just come here, set up shop. They don't have to become part of it. Look at the Vietnamese Americans as the contrast to that, who came to this country after the fall of Saigon and quintessentially became American. Some of the older Vietnamese still struggle with English. Their children are as American as you and me. They have brought in great food culture. They have brought in a patriotism for the United States and an abiding hatred of communism. You know, Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook, his wife's family, they were from China, fled to Vietnam to get away from the communists, had to flee Vietnam to move to the United States. It's an example of a family fleeing communism, coming here and integrating into American society as real patriots to the United States. We've seen it happen, and the left hates it. For Ilhan Omar to compare assimilation to Nazism is anathema to American culture, because it's not Nazism to suggest that when an immigrant comes here, that immigrant is no longer a hyphenated American, but an American. You can still have pride in your ancestry. So, my Uncle Leif Erikson, yes, my Uncle Leif Erikson. I have a distinct memory when I was a kid that, you know, the Swedes and the Norwegians did not get along. And I had a distinct memory from years ago when I was little, my Uncle Leif making jokes about Norwegians. And I remember that I wanted to go as a kid to Epcot and learned that there was a place I wanted to go. I can't even remember what it was, but it was in Norway. And I remember being upset that I couldn't go there because Uncle Leif would never speak to me again had I gone to the Norwegian village. Because, you know, the Swedes and the Norwegians, they don't get along. It's all very funny now to realize this. And you can bring over some of that. My Irish friends who are descended from the Irish, they are, they do not like the English. In fact, I'm on a group chat with a guy who is very proudly a descendant of Ireland and a guy who is very proudly a descendant of England, and they snipe with each other about that stuff all the time. It's so funny, but they're also distinctly American. They are distinctly American patriots. They are descended from Americans, and they have fully assimilated in this country. The distinctions do wear out over time, by the way. We've seen this with race and culture in the United States, where over time, the animosities of racism in this country are they're not gone, but they're certainly fading. Race relations in the country have improved. Time heals all wounds. But this distinct idea of progressivism, that you can come to this country, you can maintain yourself as a distinct cultural entity without blending in or assimilating into the United States, is something the left has embraced to the detriment of this country, and we see it with the European elite deciding that they can flood their country with immigrants with no plan for assimilating those people and making them French or German or Irish or British, and it's to the detriment of those countries and ours. And I think most Americans understand this. And this is why I think the left is screaming so loudly racism about what has been identified by the Somali threat in Minnesota. And I say the Somali threat intentionally because when a large group of immigrants to this country are repatriating money to Somalia to fund Islamic terrorism, it's a threat. Not all Somalis are. That, again, is why I'm hesitant to label a group of people because of their ethnicity garbage people. There are certainly garbage people, but they are individuals. I would note that Scott Bessent this weekend on television, when probed about this matter, made the case as well that they are looking into the issue of where this money flowed through, and the Treasury Department has great power to prosecute fraud. I would just say this. It is a campaign issue to help define the parameters of 2026 for the Republicans to make the case that we do expect individuals in this country who are immigrants to assimilate into the United States and embrace the United States. Embrace football culture where it's real football, not soccer. Embrace the food culture of the United States. Embrace what it means to be a patriotic citizen who celebrates gladly and proudly the 4th of July and flies the American flag, not the flag of your old homeland. When my grandfather came here as a Swede, he put down the Swedish flag and picked up the American flag and expect his children to be American. And that's what we should expect of every immigrant to this country. And for Ilhan Omar, a member of Congress, to compare that to Nazism is a bridge too far, and the Republicans should make that view radioactive.
Have something to say? Hello. Call the show. 1-877-97-ERIC. That's 1-877-973-7425.
1221 Cool-Ray Carrier Traffic Center. Crash still working down by the airport right lane of the 285 westbound inner loop ramp to I-85. That's why you're seeing the brake lights back to Riverdale Road. Left lane construction active into DeKalb County. 20 eastbound near Panola Road exit 71, keeping you on the brakes from Wesley Chapel Road. Traffic brought to you by the Danny Did Foundation. The Danny Did Foundation expands epilepsy care in memory of Danny Stanton, who was lost to sudden unexpected death in epilepsy. If you or someone you know has seizures, visit dannydid.org for resources. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
When we came up with the idea for Clark's Christmas Kids 35 years ago, I told myself we were going to help every foster child across the state. But we need your help. To find out how you can make a child's Christmas wishes come true, visit WSBRadio.com.
A special thanks to our friends at Scana Energy, Rocco's European Garage, and Finlay Roofing for their continued support of Clark's Christmas Kids.
This is Scott Slade, updating my health story. I get a checkup every year, and last September, my primary care physician was troubled by a suspicious number on my lab work. Well, that led to a diagnosis early enough to give me options, and I'm more optimistic than ever about a good outcome. Now, when we're talking about our health, level with your providers if you think you have a problem. We all need expert eyes looking us over every so often. That's where virtual imaging can be invaluable. Virtual Imaging's LDCT body scan can give you time and options for early treatment, especially for cancer. They can detect tumors as early as precancerous virtually anywhere in your body, and aneurysms you may not even know are there. For a limited time, Virtual Imaging is extending their core body scan offer for only $995 per scan. That's a $2,495 value. Early detection saves lives, and now it's more affordable than ever. Virtual Imaging has gotten such great response, they've opened up more times in both offices. But appointments will fill up fast for this offer, so don't wait. Some minimum requirements may apply. Early detection is your best protection. To schedule your Virtual Imaging $995 core body scan, call 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-SCAN. Or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com. That's virtualimagingatl.com. Do it now, while you still have options.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-for-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now.
1-877-CARS-for-KIDS. Donate your car today. Hurry! It's our last chance to donate for 2025.
Hey folks, Dave Baker here with a quick tip. When it comes to garage doors, longevity matters. Overhead Door Company of Atlanta has been serving Atlanta homeowners since 1935. That's 90 years of doing it right, day after day, door after door. Sure, new companies pop up claiming to be number one, but for real trust and experience, there's only one original overhead door, the one with the red ribbon on the trucks. Longevity matters. Quality matters. Call 404-USA-DOOR or visit overheaddooratlanta.com.
Red diamonds cost up to $5 million per gram, and yet they are not nearly as valuable as hope. You'll agree with me if you've ever felt deeply hopeless. You know, that state of soul when life itself seems pointless with no prospects of ever getting better. I want you to know there is hope, real hope, and his name is Jesus. He offers full forgiveness, eternal life, heaven as your home, and purpose in every heartbeat. This is Tom Gray, and This Stuff Matters.
ThisStuffMatters.net.
Y'all, I'm more and more getting encounters with, family and friends wanting to know, is this a scam? What have you? They're so sophisticated now, and especially with older folks, the level of sophistication that criminals are using online to scam people, it's next level. Vision Computers could be your last line of defense on this. If you've got Vision Computers managed IT plan for yourself, for your home, for your business, you can put your employees or your aging parents through some training with the employees at Vision Computer that can help protect them. And you can even, if someone calls and you think it's a scam, put them on hold, call Vision Computer at 404-COMPUTE, and do a three-way call. And the pros, they get on the call, the crooks run away. Vision Computer's employees, your parents, well, they're taken care of. Call Vision Computer today. Get peace of mind, state-of-the-art technology, and defense with their managed IT plans. Call Vision Computers today at 404-COMPUTE or go to visioncomputers.com. 404-COMPUTE.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
You can be live on Eric's show by calling 877-97-ERIC. That's 877-973-7425.
Hello, welcome. It is Eric Erickson here. You can be on the show, 877-973-7425. Y'all, we need to have our laugh for the day. We got to have a laugh. FIFA scheduled a match, a soccer match for the World Cup. It's going to be held in Seattle on June 26th. Now, they already announced it, and fans decided to label it the Pride Match. Well, they announced it and labeled it the Pride Match before their teams were randomly picked to participate in the Pride Match in Seattle on June 26th. They have now selected the two teams that will play in the Pride Match in Seattle on June 26th for FIFA: Egypt and Iran. Yes, Egypt and Iran will be playing in Seattle on June 26th, what was previously designated as the Pride Match. Yes, God bless them all. Old Glory Bank just announced they're going to head to NASDAQ and be publicly traded. They are the fastest growing bank in the country. They are my bank. I have had an account with them for 2 years now. I have a no-fee checking and a no-fee savings account with them. I know the guys who are behind the bank. They come from a conservative background and wanted to build a bank during the debanking trends that could work with businesses without fear for those businesses of being shut down. You know, a lot of progressives targeted, for example, gun manufacturers and shops that sell guns to try to pressure banks to not do business with them, and Old Glory Bank kind of filled the void for them. And they're great for businesses. Veterans, first responders, active duty military can get discounts on premium accounts like interest-bearing checking accounts and the like. You can get mortgages. They're a fully functioning bank. They happen to be online, but you can even deposit cash at the bank. OldGloryBank.com. OldGloryBank.com. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Terms and conditions apply. You go to oldglorybank.com/Eric. You can sign up and get an account with them today. And again, I've got a no-fee checking, no-fee savings account with them. They've got premium accounts. They do mortgages, CDs, you name it. oldglorybank.com/Eric. Go learn more today. And if you're active duty military, they can cut you some great deals on their accounts.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 12:30. Good afternoon. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by Jim Ellis Automotive. This just in, a current member of the Georgia House of Representatives facing federal fraud charges. Sharon Henderson arrested today, facing 2 counts of theft of government funds and 10 counts of making false statements. She's accused of collecting over $17,000 of pandemic unemployment benefits after making false statements on her application about her work as a substitute teacher.
She was alleging that she was unable to continue her employment because of COVID, but she hadn't worked at all in 2019, so the indictment alleges that she lied in order to obtain unemployment insurance benefits.
That's U.S. Attorney Theodore Hertzberg. He tells WSB that it's shocking that a public official would allegedly lie to profit from an emergency program designed to help those who are suffering. Henderson represents District 113, which covers western Newton County and part of Covington. She was first elected back in 2020. The Supreme Court heard arguments today in a case that tests President Trump's power over independent federal agencies. At issue is whether or not he has the authority to fire Rebecca Slaughter, a Democratic-appointed member of the Federal Trade Commission. There is a law intended to insulate the FTC from political pressure. Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor.
You're asking us to destroy the structure of government and to take away from Congress its ability to protect its idea that the government is better structured with some agencies that are independent.
Now, a Trump victory could expand presidential power and affect over 24 agencies beyond. The Federal Trade Commission will be watching. President Trump planning a $12 billion aid package to help farmers who have struggled to sell their crops while dealing with the cost increase caused by tariffs within China. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow right now is down 227 at 47,727. NASDAQ also in negative territory, so is the S&P. It's 12:32.
If you're seeing cracks in the walls upstairs, downstairs, or outside, maybe even a door not closing, call the Foundation Repair Specialist. Hi, it's Mark Beckham here with Atlanta Ramjack, and we are your leading foundation repair experts. Set up your free estimate right now at atlantaramjack.com.
From our family to yours, thank you for trusting Jape Services.
Hi, this is Daniel and Jana Jape, local owners of Jape Services. We just wanted to take a moment to say thank you for trusting us with all your heating, cooling, and plumbing needs.
We're honored to keep you comfortable year-round and look forward to continuing to provide superior customer service
and price transparency
to make sure you stay comfortable in the future.
Wishing you a wonderful holiday season from all of us at Jape Services.
Jape Services.
The Scott Antique Markets is back at the Atlanta Expo Center, featuring hundreds of vendors with collectibles and merchandise from all over the world. We're on both sides of I-285 exit 55 on Jonesboro Road. Visit ScottAntiqueMarket.com for more information.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
Save money by getting pre-approved for your next auto loan at Coosa Valley Credit Union. We offer the most competitive interest rates in the market, as low as 3.49 APR when you open an account with direct deposit. This is Andy Harris, President of Coosa Valley Credit Union, inviting you to stop in a branch near you. You'll experience kinder banking with real people, not automation. Plus, with 11 locations in Northwest Georgia, we're always local and nearby.
Contact 706-235-8551 for more details. Equal Opportunity Lender.
All right, live team coverage of traffic and weather. Here's Alex Williams.
Better news on the south side. Crash cleared out of the right lane, 285 westbound, the inner loop to ramp to I-85 down there near the airport. Left lane construction still active in DeKalb, 20 eastbound past Panola Road, and trouble in the left lane of the express lanes. They're pointed southbound in Henry County, 75 southbound Jodica Road, exit 222. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Cloudy, drizzly, and breezy today, high 46. Clear and cold tonight as temperatures fall into the low 30s. Tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds, high 49. Sunshine and warming up on Wednesday to the mid-50s.
Cloudy skies and 46 degrees in Kennesaw. We have cloudy skies here in metro Atlanta on Peachtree Street, where it is 47 degrees. More news at 1 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Engaging and fearless. The Eric Erickson Show, tackling politics and culture with clarity.
Can we have a grown-up conversation? I say that a lot these days, and the reason I say it a lot is because if you live online and you are always on social media, it's harder and harder to actually have a nuanced conversation about things. Let's take assimilation and immigration in Europe. I got online this weekend, and there was a lot of complaining about Europe. And it seemed like it was the weirdest thing, honestly. I got on Twitter, and everybody was fighting about Europe. Are they an ally or not? Assimilation and things like that. And you know, I happen to know a lot of people in various European countries. I happen to have family in Sweden. And I see all the time this Islamist state that is taking over Sweden. And if you live online, you really believe it. And in fact, in Stockholm and several of the southern cities in Sweden, there is a real problem with the assimilation of migrants in those areas. Sweden has let in a lot of immigrants, and a lot of them are deeply hostile to the Swedish way of life. They just happen to live there, and there's been no assimilation. There are no-go zones in Stockholm. And elsewhere in southern Sweden, where you avoid areas of immigrant enclave, whether you go to Gothenburg or you go to Stockholm, there are just places you don't go. The same is also true in parts of Germany, where they have a massive Turkish immigrant population that has never assimilated, that lives off the government dole, that provides cheap labor to the Germans, and the Germans deeply resent it. They resent their government for allowing it, but also, whether we're talking about Great Britain or Sweden or Germany or France, these countries are not on the verge of being taken over by the Islamists. If you live online, you believe it. The reality is that in all of these countries, the non-native populations are less than, in Germany, 13%, 11% in France and the UK, and less than 10% in the rest of these places. The reason it's noticeable, particularly on social media, is because there are these enclaves that are not assimilated into the country. And this is why I think all of these countries should embrace assimilation, and we should understand that progressives abhor the idea of assimilation. You look at Ilhan Omar and her comments this weekend that assimilation is akin to Nazism. The left does not like assimilation, and I actually think that you got to have assimilation. These countries flooded the zone with really cheap labor. One of the reasons they flooded the zone with really cheap labor is because the native populations have stopped procreating, so the native populations are in decline. Now, this has all led to the Trump administration producing a national security strategy memo that basically says Europe's not going to exist in the next 30 years. And essentially saying the Europeans aren't good allies. And this is what started all the squabbling this weekend. I got to tell you, and I encounter this comment on my show on occasion. It is my job, I think, number one, keep you entertained. But number two, in the process of keeping you entertained, keep you informed with what actually is going on in the news today. What is the news? What are people chatting about? All of that. And here's the thing. A lot of what we're getting out of the Trump administration right now is from a group of people who are young, white, from well-to-do families, and highly online. None of you, unless you're on social media, and you need to ask yourself, How often are you plugged into right-wing podcasts and online commentary? Because if you're really plugged into right-wing podcasts and online commentary, you're convinced of the Islamization of Europe, and you are convinced of a lot of things that really aren't so. And I want to don't think this is an anomalous thing. Look at the Biden administration. There's a report in the New York Times about how the Biden administration got immigration so wrong. And one of the points they made is that the Biden administration was listening to a lot of white progressive nonprofits. And these are the people who refer to the Hispanic population as Latinx or Latinx. No one in the Hispanic community or the Latino community refers to them as Latinx or Latinx. But the good white wokes, they came up with that word because they wanted to be non-binary, and they embraced it. And they also made a stunning calculation that proved to be very wrong. As the New York Times reports about the Biden administration, they decided if they cracked down on immigration and illegal immigration and deportations, there would be a backlash in the Hispanic community because they believed the Hispanic community supports illegal immigration. Now, all you have to know, if you talk to anyone who is Hispanic and here illegally, is they're furious with the gangbangers and criminal element flooding the borders of the United States under the Biden administration, and in many cases competing with them for jobs in this country, in addition to bringing the gangland violence of their native countries to this country where the legal immigrants came for safe refuge and to become Americans. And the Biden administration got it spectacularly wrong. Why did they get it wrong? Because they were listening to a horde of a white woke elite in nonprofits who never worked in the real world and were on Blue Sky and Twitter, well, particularly Twitter at the time. And they came to believe that Twitter was real life. Twitter is not real life. I saw when Donald Trump got elected, a young man I follow on Twitter who is very much into racial politics from the right. And he tweeted, for all you people who said we needed to touch grass and Twitter wasn't real life, you go touch grass. You were wrong. And it's been downhill ever since. In fact, there is data out there right now that the Hispanic voters who voted for Donald Trump could begin to engage in backlash. Why? Because they genuinely abhor illegal immigration, and they abhor the gangbangers, and they abhor the criminal element coming in, but they themselves at this point feel targeted by the overplayed hand of those in Homeland Security who are being led by a bunch of people who are highly online and have decided that we must throw out every immigrant from this country that we can if they are not legal citizens. Even if they're here as resident aliens, we should probably get rid of them. Brian Kilmeade this morning on Fox and Friends.
But here's the nuance. The nuance is there's an election in Miami right now. Right. And for the first time in decades, it looks like a Democrat who could win. And that is a very Hispanic community. And the whole redistricting in Texas was if the president continues to make gains with the Hispanic community. Some of them are misreading the aggressive tactics of ICE and taking it on the whole Hispanic community, and they feel as though they've been too broadly targeted. And that's why the president's numbers are coming down with Hispanics. That's why Tom Homan's got to get together with Kristi Noem and find out whose policy is going to work. Because they have an election, a midterm election. Things aren't going to go good for anybody's mission on the Republican side if they lose the Hispanic vote or nullify, negate some of the gains that they've worked so hard to make. So they got to figure out a policy that goes for the criminals, the people that are abusing their visa, and leaves the people that belong here.
Now, here's the problem. What if I tell you that in the Hispanic community there's a lot of polling, and there is, that says if you've been in the country for 30 years and you're an illegal alien, they think you might as well stay? We're not talking citizenship. They just think, leave them alone. They haven't done anything. If I tell you that and your reaction is, I don't care, round them up and deport them, they're here illegally, you begin to see where the divide becomes within the Hispanic community and the Republicans. And Kilmeade raises a very good point. In Miami, they haven't had a Democrat as mayor in over 30 years. And the Hispanic community down there is really upset with the way Kristi Noem has handled deportations. There's actually a real divide within the administration. Tom Homan's position has been round up the criminals and the gangbangers and get rid of them first. The Kristi Noem, Corey Lewandowski view is you round up every single illegal alien, no matter where they are, who they are, and how long you've been here, and get them out of the country. That's provoking a backlash among Hispanics. Why? Because the hyper online Republican view has been, we don't want to wind up like Europe. We need to deport every illegal alien everywhere. There should be no nuance. There should be no discernment. And there should be no practical order. The Hispanic view, offline, is there actually can be an order. Go for the gangbangers and the criminals, and then let's have a conversation about the others. Now that we've secured the border, it's one of the things they wanted. But the right is getting high on their own online supply. This national security assessment, it's like 19th century mercantilist America coming back. It's what you read about online. Essentially, the Trump administration, they're not relying on experts anymore because the experts have discredited themselves and nobody trusts the experts. And so they've gone to Twitter accounts that stayed at Holiday Inn Expresses last night who've decided we should be a 19th century mercantilist society. We should divide up the world between China, Russia, and the United States. We'll take the Western Hemisphere, and China and Russia can fight over the Eastern Hemisphere because we strategized it out on playing Risk. And in the board game Risk, it worked out great for us. We're not being led by adults in the real world. The president is surrounded with a bunch of young people who, by the way, I think it really does need to be noted. A lot of them come from well-to-do families, and they spend a lot of time online in Washington, D.C., and in groups of young men who spend a lot of time deciding what's on Twitter is right, and the president's getting bad advice. And we're seeing this shape up. We're seeing this aversion to the Europeans because the Europeans, they've decided, are on the verge of becoming Islamist, which isn't actually true. There are problems, and you see, here's the problem. This gets to the nuance of it. When you say it isn't true, people are like, but, and they give you all these examples. I can say there's a problem. There is a problem. And it is a failure to assimilate. And it is the idea of letting in all these migrants for cheap labor in Europe. But it doesn't mean they're on the verge of Islamification of Europe. And if you believe the one, you have to believe the other on Twitter. That's the problem. In the same way, on the left, is this idea from winning the Twitter fight that you can't have enforcement of illegal immigration because that's racism. That's what the left believes. There was this, I saw over the weekend, somebody posted this clip about a West Wing episode from the 90s where some group of white progressives wanted to get the president in West Wing to embrace a new map that essentially was upside down because it was heteronormative and displays of bigotry towards the third world by putting North America in the northern hemisphere, and it should be upside down, and we should reposition the land masses and do a different map that made Africa look bigger than Greenland, because by making Greenland look as big as Africa, it involved racial discrimination of Africa. It was the absurd sort of stuff you get from the woke nonprofits. And they were mocking it in the 1990s on the West Wing, and here we are in the 2000s, and people think it's real. What was mocked has become reality, and it all has to do with too many people on the left and the right thinking that what happens on Twitter is the real world. And the things said on Twitter are the real world. And most of you who do not live on Twitter, you don't know anything about these arguments. You don't know anything about these debates. And unfortunately, too many of the policymakers in Washington have too much time on their hands on both sides of the aisle. And they spend too much time seeing what is being argued about on Twitter, and that must be where we stake out our ground. And the result is they've missed everything. In the White House, they're provoking a backlash of Hispanic voters because online, everybody on the right says, get them all out of here, every single one of them. And on the left, They provoked a Hispanic backlash by believing these people wanted to be called Latinx and that they wanted all illegal immigration in the country, which isn't so. Both sides are catering to an online horde that has detached from reality, and it is shaping very bad public policy. And in the case of the Trump administration, the online horde has essentially decided the Europeans are the bad guys now, and we should make nice with China and Russia. That's exactly what China and Russia would like us to do, and they are not our friends. The Europeans have problems, lots of problems. We shouldn't understate the problems. But they're also our allies, unlike the Chinese and the Russians.
Honest.
Putting your trust in me to tell you what's going on.
Transparent.
I need you to know this from the bottom of my heart.
Giving you the information without the noise.
My job isn't to tell you what you want to hear, it's to tell you the truth.
It's the Eric Erickson Show.
1250, Cool Ray Carrier, WSB Traffic Center. Better news in Henry County. That earlier express lane trouble, 75 southbound near Jodico Road, exit 222. That has cleared. Still seeing brake lights with left lane construction in DeKalb. 20 eastbound, the construction just past Panola Road, exit 71. Right lane road work in Gwinnett County. Highway 316 eastbound, High Hope Road, causing a little bit of delay there. And heading into Midtown downtown, a few brake lights, 7585 south, 17th Street down toward North Avenue. Northbound as well from I-20 up to Freedom Parkway. Traffic brought to you by ChumbaCasino.com. With over 100 online casino-style games, Chumba Casino is your destination for nonstop entertainment. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 21+. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
Tuesday, starting at 5, Triple Team Traffic gets you to work or school on time. And Clark has good news about the state's finances, but he sees a way to improve yours, too. I'm Chris Chandler. Join us for Atlanta's Morning News on 95.5 WSB.
Hi, I'm John Ray, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. When you buy an engagement ring or fine jewelry gift from Shane Company, you get more than what you paid for. Our jewelry comes with our all-inclusive free lifetime warranty. It covers everything. There's no fine print. You'll get unlimited cleanings, resizings, and repairs. Plus, it even protects your engagement ring's center stone. We stand behind the quality of our jewelry, and that's our gift to you this holiday. Peace of mind. Because a friend knows the best things in life are free. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Dave Baker here for Artisan Custom Closets. Ever been doing the holiday baking, but you can't find the festive sprinkles you put on the reindeer cupcakes? Man, they were right here last year, I think, somewhere. Wouldn't be that way if you had Artisan Custom Closets upgrade your pantry. Your sprinkles would remain at your fingertips all year. Schedule your free design consultation today with a certified master artisan designer at artisancustomclosets.com and reward yourself with affordable luxury over the holidays. artisancustomclosets.com.
The Scott Antique Markets is back at the Atlanta Expo Center, featuring hundreds of vendors with collectibles and merchandise from all over the world. We're on both sides of I-285, exit 55 on Jonesboro Road. Visit ScottAntiqueMarket.com for more information.
From our family to yours, thank you for trusting Jape Services.
Hi, this is Daniel and Jana Jape, local owners of Jape Services. We just wanted to take a moment to say thank you for trusting us with all your heating, cooling, and plumbing needs.
We're honored to keep you comfortable year-round and look forward to continuing to provide superior customer service
And price transparency.
to make sure you stay comfortable in the future.
Wishing you a wonderful holiday season from all of us at Jape Services.
Hey, it's Mark Aram here. My friends at Rocco's European Garage once again stepping up for the 35th annual Clark's Christmas Kids, helping make sure every child in Georgia's foster care system wakes up with presents this Christmas. Thank you to the team at Rocco's European Garage.
At Coosa Valley Credit Union, we believe in the power of human connection. When you call us or stop in a location, you're always greeted by a real person who's friendly and ready to make your banking experience stress-free. This is Andy Harris. If you're tired of automated tellers, come see us at Coosa Valley Credit Union.
Zerorez Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning is bringing the gift of clean this season with our holiday sale. Schedule today and get carpet cleanings at just $40 per room. Plus, when you schedule 3 rooms or more, add a flight of stairs for just $1. Using our non-toxic ZR water, Zerorez cleans better than soaps and leaves 0 residue behind. Hurry, appointments are filling fast, so mention WSB Radio to get your cleaning at just $40 per room. Schedule online at ZeroResAtlanta.com.
Selling your home? With Orchard, get cash up front to buy your next home
Then sell your old one for top dollar. Stress-free. Start with a free home valuation at Orchard.com.
WSB Atlanta, WSBB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
All the news, weather, and traffic you need. 95.5 WSB.
Y'all, I just want you to know that we are here discussing the civil controversies of the day. We're talking about Trump and Biden and the hyper online left and the hyper online right, and what do we do with illegal immigrants and assimilation. We've avoided the really controversial, angry conversations. Talking, of course, about college football playoffs. My gosh, it was so funny to watch those rankings drop this weekend. Every single person I could follow on social media was arguing about Trump and Europe and politics and the Democrats. And then the college football rankings came out and boom, Notre Dame is having a moment. Brigham Young upset. Texas not happy. Alabama defensive. People defending it. There is no right answer. And the only guarantee is that the partisans of one football team or the other will be unhappy with what the College Football Committee did. I offer you no opinion other than the butthurt over Notre Dame for not getting in and say, well, we're not going to play any bowl games. You didn't finish against any top 10 team this year. Your schedule next year is weak, and you just think you should be entitled in, and it didn't happen. On the merits, if you don't let in Alabama, no, why is anybody going to want to play in the championship game for their conference? There are plenty of arguments to go around. There are plenty of arguments. I prefer this to the BCS system. And the irony is that now, instead of as I saw Charlie Harper on Twitter say, we're arguing over who is the 12th best team in the nation instead of who is the second best team in the nation. And I think that is a vast improvement, that we're arguing over the 12th as opposed to the second best team. The whole thing is just, it was really wild to watch the angry people and to watch Notre Dame's reaction. Meanwhile, you got Vanderbilt. When they were asked if they were upset like Notre Dame, the coach was like, nope, we did this to ourselves. We'll do better next year, and maybe we'll get in. We're not going to complain about it. Good for Vanderbilt for taking a grown-up response to it. My goodness gracious. Everybody is, at least they're angry about something other than like national politics. I mentioned that a lot. So this is politics, Erickson. Sorry, y'all. We're going to avoid the deep controversy of college football playoffs. Let me tell you about the Eden Pure Thunderstorm. You can get 3 of them for less than $200. They're great air purifiers, and they wipe out odors. Your kids in a college dorm or something, or they got an apartment or a stinky car. Maybe this is a great stocking stuffer. You can hold this thing in your hand. It's small. It might fit in your stocking. It gets rid of pollen and dust and pet dander. It kills 99% of bacteria and viruses. And it wipes out every odor. You go to EdenPureDeals.com and you put in the discount code ERIC3, ERICK3 at EdenPureDeals.com and just wipe out all the odors. You get 3 of them, you save $200. You get them for less than, you get 3 of these for less than $200. Price hadn't gone up in quite a while. And they eliminate all odors. EdenPureDeals.com. The discount code is ERIC3, ERICK3. And EdenPureDeals.com. You can save, wipe out odors. You get 3 of them for less than $200. EdenPureDeals.com.
The news of the day through the eyes of Eric Von Hessler.
The way you should live your life is look at the way they're doing it at D.C. and then just run.
If it's on your mind, it's on his.
Other people are getting away with it, so you should get away with it.
Eric Von Hessler. Today at 3.
Well, your best day ever would have been a Tuesday. Who knows?
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free, and you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 1 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm Sabrina Cupid. A member of the Georgia House of Representatives arrested and is set to appear in court this hour on federal charges.
A federal grand jury has charged Representative Sharon Henderson with 2 counts of theft of government funds and 10 counts of making false statements. U.S. Attorney Theodore Hertzberg says Henderson lied to profit from an emergency program designed to help suffering community members during the pandemic. Henderson is charged with collecting over $17,000 of pandemic unemployment benefits to which she was not entitled as a result of false statements in her application and weekly reports about her previous employment in Henry County schools. Lisa Nicholas, 95.5 WSB.
All right, so your weather for today, mostly cloudy and breezy this afternoon. Highs around 46. Some of those winds could be gusting up to 20 miles an hour, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. A man in his 30s found shot to death near a parked car on Cornell Boulevard in southwest Atlanta. Atlanta police looking for clues now this afternoon. Homicide investigators are working to determine the circumstances surrounding that shooting, including a motive. No word on a possible suspect either. Anybody with information being asked to call Crime Stoppers today. The affordability problem with housing here in Metro Atlanta is lingering. Almost 70% of homes on the market right now are unaffordable to the typical household, says Bankrate's Alex Gailey. She says it is slowly improving and will continue to do so.
As long as we continue to see improvement in 3 big buckets, slower price growth, lower interest rates or more leveling off of interest rates, and then continuing to grow supply.
And she says the improvement will happen slowly over the next 3 to 5 years. The median price for a home in the Metro Atlanta area is now just under $400,000. And she says the gap between what someone would need to afford that and what they actually make is right around $14,000. Well, after years of debate about what to do with Druid Hills High School, the DeKalb County School Board may vote on the issue this evening. We'll be watching. Check back for updates on that. Governor Kemp and the First Lady Marty lit the Capitol Christmas tree today inside the rotunda.
3, 2, 1. Oh, Merry Christmas.
Governor Kemp says lighting the tree marks the start of a busy season for many, but it's more than that.
It's also a reminder of the meaning of the season, the birth of our Savior, and good overcoming evil.
Yeah, the massive 26-foot red cedar tree was donated by a family in Lindale, Georgia. And a $1 million Powerball ticket was sold at the Quick Trip on South Cobb Drive near Marietta. The lucky player, who has not yet been publicly identified, matched the winning numbers, but did not match that red Powerball. So now that nobody matched all those numbers, that means the big prize is an estimated $875 million. It's 102.
Y'all, I'm more and more getting encounters with, family and friends wanting to know, is this a scam? What have you? They're so sophisticated now, and especially with older folks, the level of sophistication that criminals are using online to scam people, it's next level. Vision Computers could be your last line of defense on this. If you've got Vision Computers managed IT plan for yourself, for your home, for your business, you can put your employees or your aging parents through some training with the employees at Vision Computer that can help protect them. And you can even, if someone calls and you think it's a scam, put them on hold, call Vision Computer at 404-COMPUTE, and do a 3-way call. And the pros, they get on the call, the crooks run away. Vision Computer's employees, your parents, well, they're taken care of. Call Vision Computer today. Get peace of mind, state-of-the-art technology, and defense with their managed IT plans. Call Vision Computers today at 404-COMPUTE or go to visioncomputers.com. 404-COMPUTE.
Will my hair really grow back? Do I still get to have a birthday party? Can my teddy come into the machine with me? Will you stay with me tonight, Mommy?
Every day, kids at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta ask questions they should never have to. By giving today, you can help us answer them. With your support, our kids get the care and treatment they need. And even a birthday they'll never forget. Give to Children's for that. Donate today at choa.org/give.
Hey, it's Shelley Winter. Elevate your season and your style. Shop the Lexus December to Remember sales event at Butler Lexus South Atlanta. Butler Lexus South Atlanta, the standard of amazing.
Don't delay peace of mind. Ace Hardware Home Services makes it simple to upgrade your heating, cooling, or plumbing with financing that works for your budget. Visit acehardwarehomeservices.com. Ace Hardware Home Services, bringing helpful to your home.
Spend your time with those who matter most this holiday season and sell your home with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. There's no showings, no open houses, and no stress. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com and start packing.
It's 1:05, time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Hey, Sabrina, all lanes just blocked and reopened in the Brookhaven area, northeast Atlanta, 85 southbound. Be right at Claremont Road, exit 91. Had to get a stall off to the right, still flashing lights on the right shoulder there. And into Cobb County, you're still seeing the brake lights 20 eastbound, starting before Panola Road due to that left lane construction between Panola and Evans Mill. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Mostly cloudy, breezy, and cool today. High 46. Clear and cold tonight. Lows in the low 30s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy. High 49. Sunshine and warming up to the mid-50s on Wednesday.
Cloudy skies, 48 degrees in Stockbridge. Loganville has 49 degrees, and it's cloudy and 47 right now in Dunwoody. We'll have more news at 1:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Hello, America. Welcome. It is Eric Erickson here. The phone number is 877-973-7425. Should you wish to be on the program, I would be very happy to have you. I want to talk about Never Trump for a moment as a segue into something else, because, you know, people don't realize it, but I actually was the person who popularized the term. I can't say I originated. Actually, here's what happened. Back in 2016, I was actually on a train going from New York to Washington. I was on a book tour, and I'd had enough. I was like, I can't support this guy. Character counts. I'm not a Hillary person. I'll go third party. I won't vote. I don't like any of this. I don't like all sides. And I wrote a piece saying I'm never going to do it, and posted it at redstate.com where I was the editor, and then said, actually, no, I guess I put it on my own site because I had just retired from Red State. And my buddy Aaron texted me and said, use Never Trump. I've seen a couple people say that. So I did, Never Trump. It exploded. And, you know, over time, he got elected. I was wrong about a lot of the stuff I believed. And in 2020, said, you know what, I can support him. And people on the Never Trump side, boy, they got mad at me. People got mad. Now, you know what's so interesting is that there are a lot of Trump supporters. Anytime I criticize him now, there's like, well, you're Never Trump. I supported the guy through 2 election cycles, but yep, some people just can't let it go. What I have found interesting, though, is that when you are on the right and you decide you can't support Donald Trump, boy, does the media fawn over you. Think about all these people. I saw a story this morning about a group of former Republicans who are helping a bunch of Democrats get elected in 2026 to contain Donald Trump. None of them are Republicans anymore, but they hide behind the Republican label. They're Republicans against Trump, Never Trump Republicans. You can be a dyed-in-the-wool communist, and they will call you a Republican if you once were and you hate Donald Trump. They fought over you. My Meet the Press experience. I was a regular, had a monthly appointment on Meet the Press. And then announced in 2019 I would be supporting Donald Trump in 2020 and never went back on Meet the Press again. it's been very interesting to see. If I really wanted a media career right now, being dogmatically never Trump for the right, that can make you some money and it gets you all sorts of attention. But I'm in that weird position where I support a lot of what the president does and criticize some of what the president does, and therefore nobody wants that. God forbid you actually support his policies but criticize him on occasion and don't support all the policies. Nope, you see, it's got to be all the one or all the other. But the moment you go from being a Trump supporter to I disagree with him and I part ways with him, the media lavishes all sorts of praise on you. Don't they, Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's now been on CNN and The View and has a sit-down interview with Leslie Stahl on 60 Minutes.
He did talk about the Epstein files, and he was extremely angry at me that I had signed the discharge petition to release the files. I fully believe that those women deserve everything they're asking. They're asking for all of it to come out. They deserve it. And he was furious with me.
What did he say?
He said that it was going to hurt people. I had asked him, these women are the ones that were hurt. They were raped at 14. They were raped at 16. I watched them stand in front of the press, trembling, their bodies shaking as they were telling their stories, many of them for the first time. And I had told him, I said, you know, you have all kinds of people come in the White House. Have these women come in the White House. These women deserve to be heard.
He said to you, people will get hurt.
People will get hurt. I don't know what that means. I don't know who they are.
You know, she's claiming this, but she knows damn well who they are. There are a lot of innocent people who are named in the grand jury transcripts of people who came into contact with Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, I know this. She knows this. She's not a dumb person. The reason that, for example, what Clay Higgins from Louisiana voted against the legislation was exactly that there will be names that come out and they will be forever vilified and tied to Jeffrey Epstein who are innocent people. Their lives will be ruined because their names will come out. Now, you can disagree and say, nah, people will be able to nuance it, but really? Nobody nuances anything. That was the president's concern. How do I know? Because he said as much. It's not about the perpetrators and the bad guys. It's about the innocent people. And the legislation that Marjorie Taylor Greene advanced made no distinction between the innocent people who were mentioned or not. Mike Johnson asked the Senate to amend it to be able to allow the redaction of innocent names, and they didn't do it. That's what he was talking about. And then she says this.
You know, he did come after you pretty hard. He called you a lunatic, I'm quoting. He said all she does is complain, complain, complain in caps, and then he called you a traitor. So he hit you, whacked you.
Yes, he did this in the same time span where President Trump brought in the Al-Qaeda leader that was wanted by the U.S. government, who is now the president of Syria. Then within a week, he brought in the Crown Prince, MBS, who murdered an American journalist. And then he brought in the newly elected Democrat socialist mayor of New York. That was the time span that he called me a traitor.
You decided not to stay and fight.
Now, I want to pause on this. Let's go through the list. She says Donald Trump called her a traitor, and at the same time, he brought in the Al-Qaeda leader in Syria. Now, that would actually be the president of Syria, who we now know for years in Al-Qaeda was actually a mole for the Central Intelligence Agency in the United States government. So met with MBS, she can't say Mohammed bin Salman, who she says was, who murdered an American citizen. Now, she's talking, of course, about Jamal Khashoggi, who was a member of the Muslim Brotherhood. And actually, there are credible allegations about him being an advocate of the Muslim Brotherhood and also You should know that he was born in Turkey and was a Saudi Muslim. And he lived in the United States. I don't know that he was an American citizen. 2 of his 4 kids are an American citizen. But, is that America first? This Turkish Muslim Brotherhood guy? She's just conveniently trying to stick it to President Trump for meeting with the leader of Saudi Arabia, a key ally where we have American bases. And then Mamdani. She wants to imply that the President of the United States is a traitor because he met with the duly, lawfully elected mayor-elect of New York City. So follow along with me here in the insane logic of Marjorie Taylor Greene. Meeting with an ally of the United States is bad because that guy had killed a member of the Muslim Brotherhood. But meeting with the elected mayor of New York City, who's an American citizen, is bad in Marjorie Taylor Greene's view. She's not consistent. Marjorie Taylor Greene herself fostered that environment and allowed it to fester and took advantage of it, harnessed it, and defended it until it happened to her. And that's part of the problem with Marjorie Taylor Greene is she lacks empathy for other people. If it happens to her, she's a victim. She's a poor Marjorie. It's always she's a victim. Poor Marjorie. People don't like her because she's a woman. Poor Marjorie. The system is broken. It doesn't work. Here's the God's honest truth. You talk to Republicans and Democrats alike on Capitol Hill. Marjorie Taylor Greene went to Washington, D.C. and burned every bridge the moment she got there. She couldn't get anything done because Marjorie alienated everyone around her. And now she's lighting the bridge on fire that connected her to the president. She wrecked her marriage. She wrecked her relationships on Capitol Hill. She wrecked her relationship with the President of the United States. And she's decided it's everyone else. It's not her. Marjorie Taylor Greene decided you're the problem, not her. The president's the problem, not her. The Congress is the problem, not her. Everyone else is the problem, not her. Now, how much of a narcissist is she? This is, and then the obsessive desire to now do these fawning, sympathetic portrayals on TV. I've had enough of these people who perform like this. She goes out there, destroys every relationship she's got, and suddenly the common denominator is not her, but everybody else? No. She's just a convenient cudgel now for the media to use to attack the president. She can accuse the president of being a traitor for being president of the United States. The problem is Marjorie has lived in a very protective bubble, and the world is far more complicated than Marjorie Taylor Greene would like it to be. She would prefer for the United States of America to pack up and leave the rest of the world and come home and do nothing with the rest of the world, and the rest of the world doesn't work that way. The world does not work that way. And Marjorie Taylor Greene has decided that the problem is the world, not her. Marjorie Taylor Greene has decided she is the victim. She's always the victim. She's great at playing the perpetual victim. And she'll be a great podcaster, seeding the conspiracy theories that rot people's brains online. And she'll get lots of fortune, I suppose, from her podcast. And hopefully we'll never have to deal with her on the public stage as an elected official again. To become the person she used to criticize. She used to criticize the people who would go on CNN and The View and 60 Minutes and have them fawn over her. And now she's become that person. And her conclusion is, again, that it is them. It's never her. It's never her fault. She's never held accountable because it's always someone else's fault. So she'll go attack the president and attack the Republicans and attack the dysfunction in Congress and just forget about how she burned every relationship, burned every bridge, alienated so many people. She couldn't get anything done for her own constituents who had to go to other members of Congress to get help with issues because she was so bad at constituent service, and then to light it all on fire and say, I quit. She's a quitter. She's walking away. And when someone pointed out, just stay there and finish your term, she's like, how dare you tell me to go get in the kitchen? We're not telling you to get in a kitchen, Marjorie. We're telling you to do the job you signed up for, said you were committed to, And now you say, it's so broken, I can't get anything done. Yeah, Marjorie, because you're broken and you broke the relationships and no one wants to work with you. This is about you, not anybody else. And to go on television and the media and whine about how mean the president was to you when you profited from the relationship for so long, you benefited. I got no sympathy for you.
Those who love him, listen to find out what he's going to say next. Those who disagree with him, also listen to see what he's going to say next. It's the Erick Erickson Show.
121 Cool Day Carrier Traffic Center, and checking on a new slow zone in Sandy Springs. You're jammed up 285 westbound, the outer loop, leaving Georgia 400, looking for trouble between Roswell Road and Riverside Drive, causing that slow zone. And we're also watching brake lights in DeKalb. It's at left lane construction, still active, 20 eastbound, just past Panola Road, exit 71. Traffic brought to you by Stone Mountain Park. Stone Mountain Park Christmas is here. Experience the magical flight to the North Pole, the world's largest Christmas drone and light show, and so much more. Get tickets or book your stay at stonemountainpark.com. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
When you need to know.
This story is developing in Atlanta.
When you want to know.
Severe weather is on its way.
When you have to know.
We'll alert you as soon as this closure clears.
Get notifications
from your source for news.
Get the WSB radio app.
Download it from your app store today.
Hey, it's Erick Erickson here. You've heard me talk about David Nicholas and the team at Nicholas Wealth Management, and I'll tell you what, I'm not just talking about them. I actually am a client. I've got an account with Nicholas Wealth Management. Look, retirement planning today isn't what it used to be. You got to deal with inflation, taxes, market volatility. You can't just hope things work out. You need a real plan. That's why I turned to David Nicholas. David's a weekly guest on Stuart Varney's show on Fox Business. He hosts a 1-hour show every week right here, Saturday at 6 p.m. He and his team focus on helping people get to what they call the sweet spot in retirement, where you have enough income to live comfortably, invest wisely, and enjoy the next chapter of life with confidence. Now, here's the thing. The earlier you start planning, I wish I knew this, the earlier you start planning, the better off you may be. So take the first step today. Call Nicholas Wealth Management. Schedule your free, no-obligation retirement analysis. You'll sit down with an advisor with a fiduciary duty who puts your interests first, reviews your goals, and helps you build a clear plan for retirement, so you can focus on what matters most. Call 678-990-8500. That's 678-990-8500 or nicholaswealth.com. That's NICHOLAS wealth.com to schedule your free analysis today.
Nicholas Wealth is an independent financial services firm that uses a variety of different investment strategies. Erick Erickson is paid $450 a week for his testimonial. No endorsement of Nicholas Wealth Management from Fox or Stuart Varney is stated or implied.
Picture it, your holiday table, the family cooking together, the scent of golden brown bread, rosemary from roasted potatoes, and a salad so crisp it snaps. This season at Kroger, make the moments that matter possible with quality that's affordable in every aisle. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Right now, USDA Choice boneless strip steaks in the family pack are only $9.99 a pound with your digital coupon. Limit 5. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
This is Scott Slade, and nothing takes the place of time when it comes to spotting problems with your health, especially cancer. The earlier, the better. That's where virtual imaging comes in. Virtual imaging's LDCT body scan can be invaluable, giving you more time for you and your loved ones to take charge of your health. They can detect tumors as early as precancerous virtually anywhere in your body, and aneurysms you may not even know are there. Due to overwhelming demand for a limited time, their $995 core body scan offer has been extended. It's a $2,495 value. Early detection saves lives, and now it's more affordable than ever. Virtual imaging has gotten such great response to this offer that they've opened up more times in both offices, but appointments will fill up fast, so don't wait. Some minimum requirements may apply. Early detection is your best protection. To schedule your virtual imaging $995 core body scan, call 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-SCAN. Or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ziprecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free, and you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ziprecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ziprecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Your non-stop news source, 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
You can be live on Eric's show by calling 877-97-ERIC. That's 877-973-7425.
Hello there. It is Eric Erickson. The phone number, yes, 877-973-7425. Should you wish to be on the program today, I would be happy to have you. Don't forget, text Eric, E-R-I-C-K, to 33777. You can get the show notes, the live stream, the 4 Things to Know This Afternoon podcast, all the social media links as well. If you guys on the phones will stand by, I will get your phone call starting with, let's see, who am I going to first? Probably John when we come back. So be patient with me. I've got your phone calls queued up. I've just had a lot to say today. It's been very busy. So I gotta just also say that while we're doing the college football playoff stuff, can we get back to just having the bowl games as the bowl games, the Peach Bowl, the Sugar Bowl, the Rose Bowl, instead of the major corporate sponsor brought to you by other corporate sponsor bowl? I remember the good old days when I was a kid. Back in my day, when we had the Sugar Bowl, the Rose Bowl, and the Orange Bowl, and the Cotton Bowl, and the Peach Bowl, and all these bowls, the Fiesta Bowl, and now we've got the, I'm aggravated by all the corporate sponsor branding stuff, and I realize it's the nature of the beast these days. But I'm also not really opposed to Notre Dame and some of these other teams bailing, because I feel like we have too many bowls. It's not a thinking thing. This actually is a gut reaction feel like we have way too many bowl games as a society anyway. By the way, as someone noted, you do realize if you walked one step forward in the last few days, you had more rushing yards than Alabama had in that SEC championship. Just want to point that out. Americans for Prosperity would love for you to join them at afpvolunteers.com. My friends, they have fantastic opportunities for conservatives to get involved in advancing freedom around this country. From field operations and meetings with groups to keep you informed about policy in your states, to teaching you how to advocate before your state legislature, local government, or even Congress, to teaching you how to knock on the door and explain the issues to your neighbors and get them out to vote. They're very great at building grassroots operations, and they would love to have you engaged in the fight for freedom in the country. You go to afpvolunteer.com today. I'm on their board of advisors. I go around the country doing events with them. They're such a great group, and they've got chapters in every state. They teach you to be engaged. They brief you on the issues, so you can just be the most informed person in your circle of friends if that's all you want. You go to afpvolunteer.com and sign up with Americans for Prosperity today. Engage in the fight for common sense conservative reforms across the United States of America.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News, weather,
Traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 1:30. Good afternoon. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by Ben Hill Renovation. Our top story is just in: a plea deal in the murder of a Buckhead grandmother right before jury selection was about to get underway. 26-year-old Antonio Brown took the deal, agreeing to plead guilty to the 2022 murder of 77-year-old Ellen Bowles. He was sentenced to 2 consecutive life sentences with the possibility of parole. That means he will not be eligible for parole until he's 86 years old. Your weather for today: mostly cloudy, breezy, drier. Afternoon highs around 46. Some of the winds, though, gusting up to 20 miles an hour, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. A teenager is identified as one of 2 victims of a double homicide in Gwinnett County last week. The victims, ages 17 and 28, were located in a car near Harbins Road Friday. Gwinnett police say that they were shot following an argument with a 54-year-old man, Xavier Ruiz. He is also accused of stabbing another man who has life-threatening injuries before fleeing the scene. Ruiz was later arrested in Springfield, Tennessee. A current member of the Georgia House of Representatives facing federal fraud charges today. Sharon Henderson She was arrested today and faces 2 counts of theft of government funds and 10 counts of making false statements. She's accused of collecting over $17,000 of pandemic unemployment benefits after making false statements on her application about her work as a substitute teacher.
She was alleging that she was unable to continue her employment because of COVID, but she hadn't worked at all in 2019, so the indictment alleges that she lied in order to obtain unemployment insurance benefits.
And U.S. Attorney Theodore Hertzberg tells us that it's shocking that a public official would allegedly lie to profit from an emergency program designed to help people who are suffering. Henderson represents District 113, which covers western Newton County and part of Covington. She was first elected back in 2020. And for the first time in 4 years, gas prices nationwide averaging less than $3 a gallon. AAA reporting today's national average is $2.95. That's down about a nickel from last week and about 12 cents from a month ago. Here in Georgia, the average price that we're paying at the pump for regular unleaded is $2.79 a gallon. It's $1.32.
Whether it's a walk-in closet, master closet, or pantry, unlock the true potential of your storage areas in time for the holidays. Schedule your free design consultation today at artisancustomclosets.com and reward yourself with affordable luxury this holiday season.
I'm so excited to hear my son's band play tonight. They've been... be right back. They've been rehearsing... bathroom break. Overactive bladder can mean missing out on life's moments, navigating life around the nearest bathroom instead of the next experience. Medtronic therapies have treated nearly 500,000 people worldwide with bladder or bowel control problems. Let Medtronic show you what's possible. Visit medtronic.com/bladderhelp to learn how.
Spend your time with those who matter most this holiday season and sell your home with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. There are no showings, no open houses, and the best part, there is no stress. Hi, it's Chris Chandler. Go to markspain.com and start packing.
The Original Mattress Factory wants to help elevate your sleep experience this holiday season. We'll be giving away a queen-size adjustable bed set in our Comfort and Joy raffle. When paired with our hand-built mattresses, our premium adjustable beds make everyday activities like reading and watching TV in bed more comfortable. Visit any OMF location by December 18th to enter and for all official rules. No purchase is necessary to win. The Original Mattress Factory, bringing you tidings of comfort and joy this holiday season.
The holidays are here, friends, so let my friends at Publix help you save money by shopping the buy one, get one deals every week. Hey, it's Mark Aaron back with you. BOGOs galore at your neighborhood Publix supermarkets. Check out the BOGO deals before you shop, by the way. Expert tip. You can find the weekly ad online at Publix.com or in the Publix app. My favorite experience at Publix are the BOGOs. Free item must be of equal or lesser value, of course. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Cold temps can freeze water in the ground, wreaking havoc on your septic system. Hi, I'm Shannon, owner of Scorpion Septic. We can help. My licensed, insured, experienced team responds 24/7 with upfront pricing and high-quality work.
Take the sting out of septic service with Scorpion Septic, where there is never a pump-out charge with your repair. Details online, scorpionsepticservices.com.
ScorpionSepticServices.com.
Live team coverage of traffic and weather, Alex Williams.
Still seeing some brake lights in Sandy Springs, Sabrina, 285 westbound. The outer loop leaving Georgia 400, passing Roswell Road where we had some earlier trouble, looks to have cleared. And soon they should be breaking down that left lane construction into the cab. It's been there, 20 eastbound, passing Panola Road, exit 71, causing those brake lights that start just east of Wesley Chapel. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Cloudy skies, breezy today, high 46, lows tonight in the low 30s.
It is 48 degrees right now in College Park and Tucker. Marietta has 47 degrees. We'll have more news at 2 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. 95.5 WSB.
Eric Erickson here nationwide, coast to coast. That's what nationwide means for those of you in Rio Lindo, which is in the listening area, I should note, on KSTE out in Sacramento. Now, let's go to the phones. John, you're going to be up first. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Eric.
Hey, you're obviously a smart guy, and I respect your opinion. So I'd get your opinion if I'm going down a conspiratorial rabbit hole.
All right.
So it seems to me that the point of the far left is to change the political structure of the United States from capitalism to socialism. And if things are going well in society, society's not going to make any big change. But if you can sow chaos within society, then society will consider big changes to its system. So when I look at the policies of the left, it seems like they're designed to sow chaos, from open borders with unlimited immigration, designed to flow to sanctuary cities that have no voter ID requirements for voting, to identity politics, which are designed to divide us against and pit us against one another, to challenge the basic social norms. Men can have babies, men and women's sports, to create more crime, whether it be $900 you can shoplift and you get out of jail free card, cash bail. You know, on each individual item may seem nutty on its own.
Okay. I would frame it this way, John. I don't think that it is a willful conspiracy to engage in this stuff. I actually think it is the logical consequence of their beliefs. And it's not that they're trying to manufacture a crisis in this country, although never let a crisis go to waste. They're not trying to manufacture a way to push this country into socialism. They believe in a worldview that is breaking the country, and they had a number of years where they were in leadership implementing policies that they thought were good for the country. And this is why I think we have to thread the needle here. Let me just explain this one for you. And for everybody who might get a little defensive or combative with what I'm saying, follow along with me here. The left has embraced critical theory. We don't talk about critical theory as much as we did a few years ago. Critical theory is a postmodern belief that everyone is a part of a class or group that is defined by race, sex, gender, sexuality, gender identity, disability or non-disability, and the like. And the left's operating structure is governed by critical theory. So they have implemented policies that they believe are good for society based on those policies. And they believe that we will get to the outcomes that are good. So here's my point. John, you believe they're structuring these policies to cause a crisis by which they can implement socialism. We're arriving at the same destination, but from different ways. I believe the left is actually, when they had power under the Biden administration and for a number of years controlled Congress with Joe Biden, that they're deploying policies they think will benefit society, and we will all see how good socialism is. And the net result for all of us is we've arrived at a crisis point. So you think they've developed a crisis to get us to a point where we can manufacture socialism. I think they've deployed their socialist critical theory thinking, and it has caused the crisis, not because they want to provoke the crisis, but inevitably their policies lead to the crisis. So we're talking about the same thing from different structures, and I think that we should be careful in how we frame this so we don't go down conspiratorial rabbit holes and instead say, look what happens when the left implements their policies. We get inflation, we get a broken economy, and we get high crime, and we get racial and ethnic divisions in this country that did not exist otherwise. And so their policies have actually caused the brokenness in society, and they actually think that brokenness is an improvement in society. The left really does think allowing criminals out of jail is good because if we just love them enough, they'll stop being criminals. The left really does think that we should be able to spend willy-nilly in an economy and not provoke inflation. And if we have inflation, just jack up everybody's taxes and inflation will go away. Nobody wants their taxes increased. The left as willfully naive, stupid socialist policies that have wrecked the country when implemented. It's not that they want to create a crisis and not let it go to waste. It's that their policies they thought would be good and actually did provoke a crisis. And we must remind people not that they wanted to create a crisis and implement socialism, but that they tried implementing socialism and it created the crisis. And therefore, we should reject their socialist thinking. There are sadly too many people on the right now, the new right, who are embracing the socialist command and control structures. I mean, look at how many people you hear, the young guys who are hyper online in the Trump administration, who embrace things like quote unquote industrial policy set by Washington, D.C. I just think we got to be careful again and point out that they arrived at the conclusion and not actually that they're trying to provoke a crisis. Okay, now we need to go to, I may be pronouncing your name wrong, Maceo? Maceo? How do I pronounce your name?
Maceo.
All right, I can't hear you. Are you on a speakerphone?
Hello, can you hear me?
Now I can hear you. Welcome.
How you doing, Mr. Eric? Hey, I have a liberal friend who says it is a lie that that Ilhan married her brother. How is it possible that she married her brother when she could have just hosted him because she was already over here? Can you explain that?
You know, I just assumed it was fact that there was a relationship, but not a relationship, like a marriage. Let's see. I'm reading this. Ilhan Omar fired back at the White House after it revived a debunked claim that she married her brother, posting a viral video about the president and his ties to Ilhan Omar. I just accepted it as fact that there was an immigration issue between her and her brother. The president says that he did, that she did. I'm going to have to dive into this more on the, because, you know, I just assumed it was always fact, and the fact checkers say it's not so. So I'm going to figure this one out and during commercial break and let people know. Now, I got to move on because there was a big argument in the Supreme Court today we need to talk about. And I've been warning you guys. If you follow along with my show on a regular basis, I keep you up to date, and you're at the bleeding edge of knowledge with this program. Because I've been telling you for a year now that the president aimed to get rid of Humphrey's executor. Humphrey's executor is a case from the 1930s in the Supreme Court about the Federal Trade Commission and a man named Mr. Humphreys. And Mr. Humphreys died before the case was resolved, which is why it's called Humphrey's executor. He was owed back pay. Franklin Roosevelt tossed him off the Federal Trade Commission. And the Supreme Court ruled that because the Federal Trade Commission was a quasi-independent agency that was not operating as a partisan institution, the president was precluded from firing Mr. Humphreys. Mr. Humphreys' estate was awarded back pay for his salary. You fast forward to now, and there's been a movement on the United States Supreme Court to end Humphrey's executor, in large part because these quasi-independent agencies are within the executive branch of government. The Constitution says the executive power is vested in a president, not in a president and others, but in a president. And if you're an executive institution, the president should be able to fire you. Now, keep in mind that many of these entities the president wants to fire people from require a certain number of Democrats and Republicans be on these agencies. So if the president, for example, wants to allow another person, it's got to be submitted by the Democrats in the Senate and names and like. So he can't take over the agencies, but he can actually fire people from the agencies. The Supreme Court sounds like they're going to let him do it. Now, the big question is the Federal Reserve. There's a lot of conversation in the Supreme Court today that the Federal Reserve is actually a very independent agency, the way its board is selected, thereby it's precluded from being a part of the conversation. But I got to tell you, I listened to the arguments in the Supreme Court today. And the lawyer for Rebecca Slaughter, she's the Democratic member of the Federal Trade Commission who Donald Trump fired. His arguments were bad. Like objectively, like legal commentators who are not partisan listened to the argument and said, that guy is way out of his league. And I said, it sounds like he went in thinking he had 5 votes to constrain the president and he didn't care to persuade. And a buddy of mine said, no, I think he went in and knew he was going to lose the case. And so he was trying to give arguments to the progressives on the court. And, you know, that might actually be the better argument there. That's what he was trying to do. The president of the United States wants to be able to fire all of these quasi-independent agency heads who are Democrats. The National Labor Relations Board, the Merit Service Pay Board, the Federal Trade Commission, all of these, the FAA, the FTC, all the 3-letter agencies. And it looks like he's going to win, by the way. It looks like he is going to win the fight in the Supreme Court. And it is obviously the case that he's going to win, because if these agencies operate on behalf of the executive, he should. Here's what the Federal Trade Commission used to do. It used to be completely independent, and it would just have a light hand in guiding trade policy and consumer affairs in the United States. But now it's partisans. Lena Khan came in for the Biden administration and operated as a proxy for the Biden administration in the Federal Trade Commission, showing just how partisan the Federal Trade Commission is. And if that is the case, then the president of the United States should be allowed to fire the partisan operatives from these entities because he is the executive power. If you don't like the fact that the president is the executive power, amend the Constitution. It takes 2/3 of both houses of Congress and 3/4 of the states, or 2/3 of the states asking for a constitutional convention, and then 3/4 of the states agreeing. But the Article 2, Section 1, Clause 1, first sentence says the executive power of the United States is vested in a president of the United States, period. If you don't like that, change the Constitution. What was interesting in the hearings before the United States Supreme Court today is the progressives on the court having to grapple with the fact that progressive ideology has allowed all of this to spill outside the bounds of the framework of the Constitution. And they were deeply concerned about how do you rein it all back in without breaking the system. I was shocked by Elena Kagan's questions today. Even Kagan kind of gets that you have spilled out of the bounds of the Constitution these days. The argument, I gotta say, the argument from the lawyer for Rebecca Slaughter, that were just dumb arguments. Like, listen, y'all, I never argued before the Supreme Court. I never took the time to get admitted to the Supreme Court, but I do know constitutional law, and his arguments were bad. You could feel, even though you couldn't see it, you could feel Sam Alito rolling his eyes in the back of his head over some of the lameness of this guy's arguments. Now, this also comes at a time the Supreme Court is about to discuss the birthright citizenship case. The Supreme Court has agreed to take up the birthright citizenship case. The president issuing an executive order saying that people born in this country after the order who were here from illegal aliens are not citizens of the United States. I think he's going to lose the case. It's not very complicated. People want to make it more complicated than it is on both sides of the argument. It's something the Supreme Court has never considered before, and I don't think the Supreme Court's actually even going to consider it on the constitutional framework. I think the Supreme Court's going to say Congress itself has operated as if the children of illegal aliens are citizens, and therefore the president can't, by executive order, undo what Congress has done without ever actually even touching the heart of the argument. If they do touch the heart of the argument, I would just note that even Clarence Thomas, when last they visited it last year, expressed skepticism on getting rid of birthright citizenship. But both sides are playing with fire before the Supreme Court. Both sides right now think that they are getting predetermined outcomes from the court, and they're not. And when you play gamesmanship with the Supreme Court on this stuff, you're going to wind up the loser. I really do actually think that the left went to the Supreme Court and thought there are 5 votes to stop the president from firing these commissions. And today they were disabused of the notion because there may be 6 votes to fire them all. In the same way, I think the Trump administration thought they could get to the Supreme Court and have them agree with him that birthright citizenship was not a thing, and I think they're going to be sorely disabused of that notion when they get there as well. The Supreme Court is the only functioning entity left in our republic, it seems like, and I can tell you they want to maintain that, and both sides playing games with the court are not going to get what they want.
Those who love him, listen to find out what he's going to say next. Those who disagree with him, also listen to see what he's going to say next. It's the Eric Erickson Show.
Old Glory Bank is my bank.
151 Coolray Carrier Traffic Center. Earlier trouble, 285 westbound, the outer loop past Roswell Road, exit 25. That has cleared. Still seeing the brake lights in the cab due to left lane construction, 20 eastbound past Panola. And some brake lights into Midtown downtown, 7585 South 17th Street down to North Avenue. Traffic brought to you by Georgia Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Disabilities. Fentanyl hides in places you wouldn't expect. Your meds, a friend's pill, anywhere. If it's not from a pharmacy, test it first. One strip could save your life. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
When we came up with the idea for Clark's Christmas Kids 35 years ago, I told myself we were going to help every foster child across the state. But we need your help. To find out how you can make a child's Christmas wishes come true, visit WSBRadio.com.
A special thanks to our friends at Scana Energy, Rocco's European Garage, and Finley Roofing for their continued support of Clark's Christmas Kids.
Did you know they have Wagyu at Omaha Steaks? I actually only recently learned that, and I'm serving it up for some friends this weekend. I got the private reserve Wagyu filet mignon. It's going to be delicious. I will actually cook it, so it's like the way you guys like your steak. I won't use ketchup. It's going to be incredible. And I also got the bacon wrap fillets. Those are some of my favorite. There are so many great options at Omaha Steaks. They also have their private reserve fillets. Everything is incredible. I got to tell you, omahasteaks.com right now, sizzle all the way sale, 50% off site-wide. And then at checkout, use promo code ERIC, E-R-I-C-K. You're going to get an extra $35 off. They're great gifts for Christmas. They're great for helping you with your holiday meal prep. They actually have a holiday dinner tab at the top of the site. You can get incredible values at Omaha Steaks. Right now, everything is 50% off site-wide. Use promo code ERIC, E-R-I-C-K, for an extra $35 off at checkout. Minimum order required. See site for details.
Do your floors feel cold every winter? That chill may be coming from your crawl space, leaving you with cold floors and higher bills. But don't insulate, encapsulate. Keeping the cold air out helps you feel more comfortable in your home. I'm Jeremy with American Crawl Space Solutions, where we believe in a needs-based approach, offering only what you truly need, nothing more. American Crawl Space Solutions, your best value in crawl space repair.
American Crawl Space Solutions, foundations too.
Spend your time with those who matter most this holiday season and sell your home with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. There's no showings, no open houses, and no stress. Hi, this is Mark Spain, and our guaranteed offer is the strongest in the industry. You can sell your home stress-free, make the most money, and move when you're ready with the guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. Find out what your guaranteed offer would be on your home. There's no obligation. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com and start packing.
WSB Atlanta, WSBB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's my favorite time of year. I love spending time with family, enjoying delicious, nutritious food and bread. That's right, real bread, not that enriched stuff you see on the grocery shelves. This is Sue from Bread Beckers in Woodstock with Sue's Healthy Minute. My family and I were blown away from the health benefits of making real bread from freshly milled whole grains. After more than 30 years in business, we are more than a kitchen store. We are a real food store where you can get everything you need to make real bread for your family. Come to the Bread Beckers store in Woodstock this holiday season. We offer a complete line of grains, beans, sweeteners, and other whole foods, and check out our top-of-the-line kitchen equipment, including grain mills, pressure cookers, freeze dryers, and more. Our infused olive oils and vinegars are a huge hit. Our knowledgeable and friendly staff will help you find the perfect gift. Visit breadbeckers.com or our Bread Beckers store in Woodstock.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Missed part of today's show? Catch it again in full with the Eric Erickson Show 24/7 live stream. Available at ericerickson.com. Stream enabled for Apple CarPlay and Android Auto.
Howdy, welcome. It is Eric Erickson here. 877-973-7425 is the number. Let's go to Tom. Welcome to the show, Tom. How are you?
Hey, Eric, long-time listener since day one.
Thank you.
Enjoy the show.
Appreciate
it. So I had the Norwegian-Swedish conflict resolved in 1954. I was 5 years old. I'm riding on my grandpa's tractor, sitting on the axle, holding on to the fender, no helmet. And I asked my grandfather, I said, what is the difference between a Swede and a Norwegian? And he pulled off the side of the road, turned the tractor off, and he said, well, Tommy, he said, a Swede is a Norwegian with his brains blown out. And I said, okay.
Wow. And you know, the Swedes would say the same thing. It's it's for people who don't understand here. Growing up Swedish background in my family, the level of like Norwegians versus Swedish animosity there, it kind of blew me away. I was like, they're all Scandinavian. No, big differences. It's like Southerners and Yankees, but even worse. The level of jokes between the two, and it's kind of wild to think. We here in this country don't think about those things. We think about like Alabama versus Georgia, Connecticut versus Massachusetts, California versus the world, and it's Norway versus Sweden. Probably more animosity there than anywhere in this country. Hillsdale College would love to get you smarter about a topic you care about, whether it's capitalism or ethics or the founding of the Republic or the Roman Empire. Everybody loves the Roman Empire, or literature, Shakespeare, C.S. Lewis, you name it. They've got 40 to choose from. You go to ericforhillsdale.com today, sign up with Hillsdale College, and you get smarter about a topic you're interested in for free. No cost to you. And again, it's ericforhillsdale.com. You sign up, you take the classes. They're 30-minute video lectures. You do it at your own pace. Depending on the class, depends on how many there are. And you get a certificate of completion. You get smarter about the topic you care about with Hillsdale's great faculty, and you see what sets them apart. Harder to get into Hillsdale now than many of the Ivy League colleges out there. Very high standards. They don't take any government money. Kids get jobs on campus to help pay for it. It's a fantastic institution. Find out more, ericforhillsdale.com. Find a topic you want and get smarter about that topic. Support a great institution. Learn about that institution, ericforhillsdale.com.
More local news.
While seen at a Covington Walmart after an employee.
More traffic.
85 south out of Brookhaven, crowded beginning past Claremont.
More weather. The Sunnyside community may have been impacted by this tornado.
Atlanta's morning news.
Tomorrow morning
This is a complicated, controversial subject.
Wake up with 95.5 WSB.
How Atlanta starts its day.
Hey, it's Smilin' Mark McKay, and I'm so excited to be part of the 35th year of Clark's Christmas Kids. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk, and Scana Energy invite you to join us in making sure every child in Georgia gets a visit from Santa. This year, we encourage you to join Scana Energy employees by shopping on-site at any of the 3 Walmart locations for those who would like to shop in person, or shop virtually. Either way, you'll be able to see the child that you're shopping for and what that child really wants from Santa. Join Clark, WSB Radio, and Scana Energy so that every child receives a gift this holiday. We really need you to help provide gifts for the thousands of kids in the Georgia foster care system. A special thanks to Scana Energy for years of partnership with Clark's Christmas Kids. For the 3 Walmart locations, dates, and times, or to shop online, visit clarkschristmaskids.com. That's clarkschristmaskids.com.
News, weather,
Traffic. 95.5 WSB. Atlanta's News and Talk.
At 2 o'clock, I'm Bill Caiaccio with our top local story. A Georgia lawmaker is facing federal fraud charges.
The FBI arrested Georgia State Representative Sharon Henderson. She's been charged with theft of government funds and also a number of false statements with respect to unemployment insurance benefits.
U.S. Attorney Theodore Hertzberg says it's shocking a public official would allegedly lie to profit from an emergency program designed to help people who are suffering. Henderson is accused of collecting over $17,000 of pandemic unemployment benefits. Henderson is a Democrat from Covington. She was first elected in 2020. It is 50 degrees in Atlanta. How much does it warm up tomorrow after a cold start? Meteorologist Christina Edwards has Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up. The defendant in a high-profile Atlanta murder case takes responsibility for the crime just as his jury selection is set to begin. Here's a report all new at 2 o'clock.
The long-awaited trial date for Antonio Brown ends before the first group of jurors is even brought into court. The 26-year-old pleading guilty to 2022's murder of 77-year-old Eleanor Bowles. She was stabbed in her Buckhead garage before Brown, then homeless, stole her SUV. And since then, he's undergone psychological evaluations before it was ruled he's competent to stand trial. Brown apologized to Bowles' family before learning his fate. He was sentenced to 2 consecutive life sentences with the possibility of parole. He won't be eligible for parole until he's in his mid-80s. Veronica Waters, 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta police are looking for clues after a man in his 30s is shot and killed on Cornell Boulevard in southwest Atlanta. The body found near a parked car. Homicide investigators are working to determine the circumstances surrounding the shooting, including a motive. No word yet on a possible suspect. A majority of homes on the market in metro Atlanta are unaffordable. New analysis from Bankrate finds the median price of a home in the metro area is now just under $400,000. Bankrate's Alex Gailey says it likely won't get better anytime soon.
Housing economists say that we're likely in for a slow, gradual improvement rather than any sort of quick fix. So we're talking, several years before we really see any substantial improvement in affordability.
Nationally, fewer than 3 in 10 homes are affordable. The Smyrna Public Safety Foundation put smiles on the faces of 90 elementary school students today at their annual Shop with a Hero event. Smyrna Police Lieutenant Meredith Holt says each child got to spend $250 at a local Walmart.
They can pick out some clothes and necessities and, of course, the fun stuff, all the toys.
After shopping, the kids are taken to Truist Park for lunch, cookie decorating, and a stadium tour. It's now 2:02. This news sponsored by Brett Beckers. Up next, live team coverage of traffic and weather.
Scott Slade here to talk to you about your health. And I think it's real important to talk about what is most likely to kill you. Heart disease is the #1 killer of Americans. And the older we get, the more prevalent it is. But you can reduce your risk. Eat right, don't smoke, exercise, and be informed about what's going on in your own body. Like lots of potentially serious health problems, if you catch heart disease early, you vastly increase your chances of living a longer life. And that's where virtual imaging comes in. Virtual imaging scans take less than 10 minutes and screen with 98% accuracy for heart disease. Other scans, including brain and full body, are available too. Virtual imaging is locally owned and operated in Atlanta for over 15 years, so they can make you this terrific offer. A complimentary heart scan for you and your spouse with a few minimum requirements. So don't put this off. I've done it. Call Virtual Imaging today for your free heart scan. 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-7226. Or visit their website at virtualimagingatl.com.
Comcast Business is celebrating the holidays by giving your business the $1,000 holiday bonus when you switch to a gig speed internet package. Just imagine the thousands of possibilities of a $1,000 prepaid card. Like possibility number 12, the new laptop for the office holiday hero. Or possibility number 108, smart speakers to deck those hallways. Or possibility number 192, new equipment for the new year. Or possibility number 555, Bluetooth holiday lights for office decor. Switch to Comcast Business, designed for 100% reliability with business internet and wireless connect, plus advanced cybersecurity, and now get the $1,000 holiday bonus. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 12/14/25. New customers only with 2-year agreement. Requires qualifying gig package. Other restrictions apply.
Been wanting a new deck for your home? Something that's built just the way you want it? But you're scared to pull the trigger? I can help you with that. Dave Baker here for Ben Hill Renovations. Right now, Ben Hill Renovations are offering special financing. No interest if you pay in full within the 18 months promo period. You're welcome. Visit bhrenovations.com today and schedule a free design consultation at your home. Ben Hill Renovations, creating raving fans since 1964.
It's 2:05, time for live team coverage of traffic and weather. In the 24-hour traffic center, it's Alex Williams.
Hey, good afternoon, Bill. As promised, that construction is breaking down in DeKalb County from the left lane, 20 eastbound, Panola Road, exit 71, so the delays behind it will start to improve. Right lane construction continues in Gwinnett County, 316 eastbound at High Hope Road, and watching a little bit of afternoon volume fill-in heading into town, 7585 southbound 17th Street down toward William Street. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Cloudy skies, breezy today, high 46, lows tonight in the low 30s.
Right now it's 50 degrees in Brookhaven, it's 47 in Kennesaw, and 48 degrees in Fairburn. More news at 2:30, breaking news when it happens. I'm Bill Caiaccio, 95.5 WSB.
Well, there's some breaking news here as we come back on air. Elena Haba has decided to resign as the interim U.S. attorney in New Jersey. Courts had already said she couldn't be in that role, and she's out. There you have it. Also, the president appears he's going to announce a $12 billion aid package to farmers who are struggling. We supposedly are doing a big deal with Beijing for soybeans and the like, but tariffs have had a real impact hurting farmers in this country. Welcome. It's Eric Erickson here across the nation. The phone number, 877-973-7425. We need to talk about AI and regulation. We can deal with the job stuff and all that later, but let's go in the way back machine to the 1800s. You know, we need not relitigate the Civil War and slavery. Lincoln was very smart to really make slavery the overarching issue in the Civil War. It drove Britain and others away from southern states that were looking at making foreign alliances with Europeans. But the Civil War was more than about slavery. We take a very simplified view of it, but it was also about economic ideas. One of those ideas being that the fate of a railroad and the Gadsden Purchase. You know, Jefferson Davis wanted to build a southern railroad through the Gadsden Purchase, that's southern Arizona and New Mexico, and connect through Texas to San Diego, southern states. Northern railroad companies didn't want it. Then the big issue was if they did it, would the federal government pay for it, even though it was a private entity? And a lot of southern states wanted the railroad but didn't think the federal government had the power to pay for it. There were the host of economic issues. Then the Missouri Compromise and the Nebraska Act and others get involved, and the whole thing goes kablooey, and there was just this powder keg of tensions. But a lot of it came from the issue of slavery, and there are the revisionists who try to downplay that slavery impacted all of this stuff. So yes, there was an overarching issue of slavery, but also there were a lot of economic issues and issues about federal control that played out in the lead up to the Civil War. And then you get into the Civil War and those independent-minded southern states that wanted slavery, that wanted Washington out of their lives, that felt like they signed up for a compact of the Constitution that wasn't playing out the way it was written, and things were getting haywire and wanted a reset. They actually, if you read the Confederate Constitution, it actually had way more command and control, what we would call today socialist endeavors written inside its Constitution than the federal government's Constitution for the United States did. And one of the weird things about the South was that it had odd railroad gauges. There was no standardization. It was one of the weaknesses of the South and the Confederacy is that the Union states had all largely agreed to uniform standards of railroad gauges. And in the South, Virginia in particular had different one from a number of other southern states. And you had this weird situation where you would have to unload and reload trains. Not only that, so many of the train routes in the southern states were unconnected for travel. It was all about getting crops, particularly cotton, to ports. And so you had these disjointed railroads where nothing was interconnected. The standards were different. It really made troop travel difficult in southern states, the logistics of it, because in the South, each state treated their railroads as an intrastate issue, and they did not want to connect the lines between states in such ways to involve interstate commerce regulation from Washington, among other reasons. There were more reasons, don't at me, but those were some of them. So in a lot of the Union states, they had the Northern Railroad systems that were connected across states on a uniform gauge that interconnected with other railroad companies on a uniform gauge. It made troop travel, passenger travel, and commercial travel very easy. And southern states resisted that interconnectedness. The United States Constitution gives Congress the power to regulate interstate commerce. In the South, with suspicions about the federal government and the regulation of slavery and the like, they kept their railroads intrastate, and the federal government could not regulate them. It became an Achilles heel for Southern state battle response in the Civil War. I bring that up because it actually relates to AI. The President of the United States has signed an executive order mandating federal regulation for AI over and above the regulation of the states. In fact, what the President is attempting to do with his executive order is to preempt state-level regulation of AI. Why does this matter? It matters because Congress has chosen not to act. In fact, there was an effort to place in the reconciliation package, the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, language that would require federal standard regulation of artificial intelligence, and it got knocked out of that. Then there was an effort to put it in the National Defense Authorization Act, and it got knocked out of that. Congress itself has largely refused to preempt state regulation of interstate commerce issues related to AI. And now there's this executive order, which kind of short circuits what they're doing on Capitol Hill and probably isn't constitutional. Now, there are a lot of people who wish to claim corruption, that Donald Trump and his allies are getting a lot of campaign contributions from the AI consortiums out there. Frankly, this is the way the game is played. You build up an outside nonprofit group. They dump lots of money into Washington, D.C. They get the attention of the president and others, and they give you what you want. I will tell you, I have changed my mind on AI regulation, and I have gotten no money. In fact, I'm rather hostile to these AI entities. I actually think we're in a bubble and they're about to destroy the American economy. But I also think, having thought more about it, that federal regulation should preempt the states. Now, there are a lot of people out there who believe in a state-level regulatory response. And what I find is common among them is they think AI is very deeply destructive. And the Byzantine structure of 50 state regulatory compacts actually will slow down the development of AI, and that's good for society. What I think is that AI is here to stay, and other nations are going to harness its power before our nation harnesses its power. If every AI company has to comply with the regulations of California and New York and Illinois and Texas and Georgia and Florida and all the other states combined. It makes no sense to look at AI and say this is not interstate commerce. I in Georgia get to use ChatGPT, and you listening in California get to use ChatGPT, and you listening in Connecticut get to use ChatGPT. And we're all using the same system over the series of tubes known as the internet, which we have treated as a means of interstate commerce. Now, I saw someone earlier say, wait a second, Erickson, this is inconsistent. because you're fine with state level regulation on the access to pornography and things like that. Yes, that is true. We have always accepted morality clauses in interstate commerce. We have allowed states going back before prohibition to individually regulate things they view as moral issues. And in fact, AI would be bound to those things, whether it's age verifications for pornography and the like. But AI itself, the general framework of AI, just like the internet itself, is actually something in interstate commerce. And therefore, Congress itself should get involved to allow one-size-fits-all national standard for AI. There are exceptions. Again, the morality standards have always been a recognized exception to interstate commerce, but we kind of need to have one-size-fits-all AI regulation in this country. Otherwise, the other countries in the world, all 197 of the other countries out there, are going to clean our clock when it comes to the development of this technology. Because some states are more hostile to AI than other states. California loves to regulate everything out of existence. I took the position early on that we should move slow with AI. The best way to move slow with AI is to develop state-level regulatory structures and have the AI companies comply with all 50 states' regulatory structure. That'll slow it down. That'll allow the laboratories of democracy to have a say in this and a new technology. But I've changed my mind over time on this issue. And I've changed it because I recognize AI is within interstate commerce. And according to the Constitution, Article 1, Section 8, the Congress regulates interstate commerce. So I think I was wrong, and I think the people who want 50 state solutions to AI are wrong. And I think that when we see how other countries, particularly China, are deploying AI, we should probably want Washington involved. But here's what's left unsaid by a lot of people. A lot of people that I have talked to behind the scenes actually kind of agree that we should have a federal regulatory framework and not an individual state framework. But they also kind of think that the Trump administration is corrupt and whoever bribes them the most is going to get what they want, and they don't want that. So they'd rather have 50 states until Trump is gone and then have a unified framework. It really comes down to the idea that a lot of people, there's a growing belief in the tech community and outside the tech community that if you just write a large check to Donald Trump, he'll give you what you want. And a lot of other people in response to that don't want Trump involved at all in the regulatory structure. So along comes the president after getting a lot of donations from AI companies, and he does an executive order that says that the federal government's going to regulate AI. I don't know that the president can do this. I don't know that he has the power by executive order to say that it is the president and the federal government that are going to regulate AI. I simply don't know that the president has that power. My guess is that he does not. But AI is coming. You're not going to stop it any more than the horseshoe manufacturer stopped the car. You're not going to stop it any more than the analog systems stopped the digital systems. And you're not going to stop it any more than the pre-internet small businesses stopped the internet. AI is coming. And I think that we as a nation need a national conversation about its implications on jobs. I got an email from a guy the other day who said his daughter lost her job at a major Fortune 100 company because the company decided that AI could do her job. And that she was among dozens of people in the company that lost their job because of AI. And the catch is that she actually has a regulatory function with this particular company that AI is not capable of doing. And no one in the C-suites that decided to save money realized that we were laying off people who are involved in a level of corporate compliance that AI can't do. And they will probably be rehired as a result, or they'll find some foreign worker to offset the regulatory compliance. I do have real problems with AI costing people jobs. As I have long said, it's overstated, I think, in many cases, but I also recognize the reality. And I just don't think we can have an individual state-by-state conversation about that. And without a national regulatory framework for AI, I think we're going to be falling behind other countries in the development of this technology. And then when it gets to this country, it's going to overwhelm us even worse. So I'm trying to keep an open mind about it. I think we're in an economic bubble. I think that AI companies are producing supply for something for which there is a demand. I think a lot of companies aren't actually seeing a return on their investment. I think some people are losing their jobs, but a lot of other people will innovate into different jobs. I think it'll wind up being very much like the internet, where it cost some people jobs, but new jobs came about and people fell back into those new jobs. I also think that our policy when it comes to AI is right now mostly being driven by fear. And I don't think fear is a healthy tool by which to regulate an up-and-coming technology. And I think the best way to get rid of the fear is to have a one-size approach from Washington, D.C. for something that is inherently within interstate commerce. And so I think the president is right, but I think he's wrong in how he's gone about doing it.
Follow Eric on X, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble. Search EW Erickson.
221 Cool-Ray Carrier Traffic Center. Crash heading into Midtown, 85 southbound at the ramp to 75 north, exit 85. Looks like they were just able to get themselves to the left shoulder, so good news there. Still watching some brake lights, though, into Midtown and downtown. And if you're traveling on Highway 20 in Forsyth County, heads up for construction at Knuckles Road, just east of Georgia 400, causing brake lights. Traffic brought to you by Elf the Musical at the Fox Theater. Elf the Musical, the hilarious and heartwarming tale of Buddy the Elf, will play the Fox Theater December 16th through 21st. Tickets are now on sale at BroadwayInAtlanta.com. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
When we came up with the idea for Clark's Christmas Kids 35 years ago, I told myself we were going to help every foster child across the state. But we need your help. To find out how you can make a child's Christmas wishes come true, visit WSBRadio.com.
A special thanks to our friends at Scana Energy, Rocco's European Garage, and Finley Roofing for their continued support of Clark's Christmas Kids.
Been wanting a new deck for your home, something that's built just the way you want it, but you're scared to pull the trigger? I can help you with that. Dave Baker here for Ben Hill Renovations. Right now, Ben Hill Renovations are offering special financing. No interest if you pay in full within the 18 months promo period. You're welcome. Visit bhrenovations.com today and schedule a free design consultation at your home. Ben Hill Renovations, creating raving fans since 1964.
It's my favorite time of year. I love spending time with family, enjoying delicious, nutritious food and bread. That's right, real bread, not the enriched stuff you see on the shelves. This is Sue from Bread Beckers in Woodstock with Sue's Healthy Minute. My family and I were blown away by the health benefits of making real bread from freshly milled whole grains. After more than 30 years in business, we have heard thousands of stories from satisfied customers who found improved health from eating real bread. We invite you to come check out the Bread Becker store in Woodstock this holiday season. We offer a complete line of grains, beans, sweeteners, and more. Our top-of-the-line kitchen equipment or infused oils and vinegars are sure to be the perfect gift for that special someone. Let us teach you how to make your own real bread to improve your family's health. Take that first step to a healthier life. Visit breadbeckers.com or our Bread Beckers store in Woodstock.
It's the holiday season at D. Geller & Son Jewelers, and we're bringing you 3 weeks of wonder. This week, it's our Shy Creation pop-up. We're featuring one of our favorite designer lines of gorgeous, trendy fashion jewelry. Whether it's huggy hoop earrings for a stocking stuffer or a diamond-studded necklace under the tree to blow her away, there's something for everybody this week. And it all leads up to a trunk show this weekend with Shy's full line of jewelry. Save up to 20% on all Shy Creation jewelry, or take advantage of 0% APR for 18 months in Kennesaw and Sandy Springs. Learn more at dgeller.com.
Hey guys, are you striking out in the bedroom? Because pills like Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra just don't work anymore. Here's how Choice Men's Health is solving PE and ED issues. Meet Dr. Katz, the expert in men's health.
Hi, I'm Dr. Katz, Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Choice Men's Health offers safe, custom-blended medications designed to fit your needs. There is no pain or surgery. It doesn't matter how old you are or if you have diabetes, high blood pressure, or prostate issues. Not a problem. It's safe and affordable for everyone. You'll see results in 15 minutes guaranteed, or you don't pay anything. Solve the problem of ED and PE now.
For a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are free. Call now 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170 to claim your initial consultation and first treatment for free. Call Choice Men's Health now. 404-400-1170.
Pain has a way of stealing the moments that matter the most, especially during the holidays. Not just your knees, back, or shoulder. It's your time with family and friends. But in 2026, that could all change when your body remembers how to heal. It just needs a little help finding the way back. QC Kinetics here in Atlanta believes relief doesn't have to come from surgery or pain pills. They use your own body's natural healing abilities to repair and restore what's been lost, helping you move, live, and feel like yourself again. It's your body's comeback story, powered by the very cells that built you in the first place. No surgery, no pain pills, no long recovery, just your body remembering how to feel alive again. QC Kinetics delivers long-term relief. Finally, make the new year your turning point where pain stops defining you. Schedule your free consultation today. Now's a great time to use your HSA and FSA for treatments. Call 770-285-8026, 770-285-8026.
All the news, weather, and traffic you need. 95.5 WSB.
Missed part of today's show? Catch it again in full with the Eric Erickson Show 24/7 live stream. Available at ericerickson.com. Stream enabled for Apple CarPlay and Android Auto.
Hello there, welcome. It is Eric Erickson here. I want to tell you, just relay something to you. I've been telling you guys for several weeks now about the angst among Republicans on Capitol Hill. A lot of them feel, frankly, used and abused by the Trump administration. They're taken for granted. They don't weigh in on issues. They tell Republicans, we expect you to vote on stuff. They don't want input. And Republicans on Capitol Hill are just completely fed up with their treatment. They feel like they're supposed to matter. They're an independent branch of government, and they feel like the legislative team at the White House runs roughshod over them. A lot of them are exhausted. Puck News is reporting that as many as 20 House Republicans are preparing to announce retirements in the coming weeks. They expect to lose the House majority, and they are tired of dealing with the legislative affairs team at the White House. That's not good news. Remember, in 2022, a wave of Democrats decided to leave Congress, and that was the warning sign that doom was coming for Democrats. And Republicans, in fact, did take the House. It was close, but they took it. Republicans are now reciprocating, running for the doors, tired of dealing with Washington and exhausted by dealing with the legislative affairs team at the White House. Now, all of this is just provoking all sorts of reactions everywhere, including in the markets and the banking, financial industry, and the like. That's why Swiss America wants to help you protect your hard-earned assets from a secret war on cash, where the government tries to steer you to credit purchases so they can monitor what you're spending. This secret war on cash is an assault on your freedoms, and Swiss America wants to help you navigate it. You can get their free report by calling or texting 800-289-2646. The all-out war on cash, by the way, includes digital forms of currency as the government tries to control your purchases. You can get the Secret War on Cash report completely free. You just mention Eric, E-R-I-C-K, when you text my name, Eric, to 800-289-2646, or call them at 800-289-2646. Tell them Eric Erickson sent you. You can also go to SwissAmerica.com/Eric, SwissAmerica.com/ERICK. Put in your information. They'll get you the report. Takes less than 15 minutes to read. Swiss America would love to help you. The phone number, one more time, 800-289-2646. Message and data rates may apply.
Everyone
Everyone has an opinion.
I've had some great Mondays. I'm having a good Monday right now. Look, it's beautiful outside.
Got that
nice loud shirt.
Eric Von Hassler has an opinion.
It's a citrusy, summery, I think breezy kind of shirt.
And some advice.
But just remember this.
Eric Von Hassler, today at 3.
I never have and never will smoke a cigar.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
At 2:30, I'm Bill Caiaccio with our top local story. A current member of the Georgia House of Representatives is now facing federal fraud charges. Sharon Henderson is arrested today on 2 counts of theft of government funds and 10 counts of making false statements. She's accused of collecting over $17,000 of pandemic unemployment benefits after lying on her application. U.S. Attorney Theodore Hertzberg says no one is above the law.
People who abuse their office or who demonstrate that they are unfit for office because they act deceitfully should not hold office and must be held accountable.
Henderson is a Democrat from Covington. A man pleads guilty to the murder of a 77-year-old grandmother inside her gated Buckhead townhome community 3 years ago. A Fulton County judge today sentences 26-year-old Antonio Brown to 2 consecutive life sentences with the possibility of parole. He apologizes to the family of Ellen Bowles in court today. The plea comes just as jury selection in Brown's trial was about to begin. In a story impacting Georgia farmers, CBS's Willie James Inman reports President Trump plans a $12 billion aid package to help farmers struggling to sell their crops while dealing with high prices caused by tariffs.
This is certainly a way that the administration is seeking to help those farmers and those communities that are hard hit by either the lack of purchases from foreign countries or elsewhere, or those low yield prices.
It is now 2:32. This news is sponsored by FGA Roofing. Up next, live team coverage of traffic and weather.
Hey guys, are you striking out in the bedroom? Because pills like Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra just don't work anymore. Here's how Choice Men's Health is solving PE and ED issues. Meet Dr. Katz, the expert in men's health.
Hi, I'm Dr. Katz, Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Choice Men's Health offers safe, custom-blended medications designed to fit your needs. There is no pain or surgery. It doesn't matter how old you are or if you have diabetes, high blood pressure, or prostate issues. Not a problem. It's safe and affordable for everyone. You'll see results in 15 minutes guaranteed, or you don't pay anything. Solve the problem of ED and PE now.
For a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are free. Call now 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170 to claim your initial consultation and first treatment for free. Call Choice Men's Health now. 404-400-1170.
Are you dreading those cold, drafty floors and high heating bills? Hi, I'm Jeremy, owner of American Crawl Space Solutions, where we specialize in drying your crawl space and encapsulating it to keep it warm and dry. We believe in a needs-based approach, offering only what you truly need, nothing more. We stand by our value, so you will never get a buy now, today, and save offer. Don't insulate, encapsulate with American Crawl Space Solutions.
American Crawl Space Solutions. Foundations too.
Hey friends, you can have a stress-free holiday meal that's sure to impress. It's Mark Aaron back from my friends at Publix. Just heat and serve for a traditional feast that will leave your guests satisfied. Order now and make your holiday gathering one to remember. It includes tender pork roast, about 5 pounds, flavored with a mojo blend of grapefruit, lemon, orange, garlic, onion, and oregano, rice and pigeon peas, plantains with bacon and onion, plus a Publix Bakery Dulce de Leche milk-infused bar cake. Don't forget, though, items require advanced ordering.
Hi, I'm Emily, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company, where a small box with a burgundy bow will help you win the holidays. As an in-house designer, I love creating meaningful, fine jewelry gifts. Choose a necklace with a gorgeous infinity charm to symbolize your everlasting love. Or go for a personalized piece with an engraving, their zodiac sign, favorite color gemstone, or their initial accented with pave diamonds. Because a friend wants you to be a holiday hero. Stop by or shop now at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
At 2:34, Alex Williams in the traffic center.
Still watching the right lane construction in Gwinnett County, Bill. 316 eastbound, getting past High Hope Road. If you're traveling downtown, those brake lights are filling in for the afternoon. 7585 southbound, 17th Street. Some trouble moved off to the right around North Avenue. And I-20 eastbound on the West Freeway. Watching the brake lights from Riverside Parkway. Right lanes bunching up, approaching 285. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Epwards. Cloudy, drizzly, and breezy today. High 46. 46. Clear and cold tonight as temperatures fall into the low 30s. Tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds, high 49. Sunshine and warming up on Wednesday to the mid-50s.
49 in Decatur, also 49 in Ackworth. It's 48 in Hampton. More news at 3 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Bill Caiaccio, 95.5 WSB.
He's got the courage to tell you the truth, even when it isn't popular. You're listening to The Erick Erickson Show.
Hello there. Welcome. The phone number, 877-973-7425. Should you wish to be on the program, don't forget to text the word Erick, E-R-I-C-K, to 33777 so you can get the show notes, the live stream, the podcast. And had you done so today, you would have gotten the story. The New York Times has a big story on the Biden administration's breakdown on illegal immigration. The headline is How Biden Ignored Warnings and Lost America's Faith in Immigration. The subtitle, The Democratic president and his top advisors rejected recommendations that could have eased the border crisis that helped return Donald Trump to the White House. Now, what's so interesting here is it's largely a retrospective on how they got it wrong. Democrats publicly refusing to acknowledge they got it wrong. Behind the scenes remain very furious with the Biden administration. Christopher Flavelle is the author, and the New York Times notes he interviewed more than 30 former Biden administration officials who worked on immigration and border policy, as well as members of Congress, state and local officials, lawyers, and migrants. In the weeks before Joseph R. Biden Jr. was elected president, advisors delivered a warning. His approach to immigration could prove disastrous. Mr. Biden had pledged to treat unauthorized immigrants more humanely than President Donald J. Trump, who generated widespread backlash by separating migrant children from their families. But Mr. Biden was now president-elect, and his positions threatened to drastically increase border crossings. Experts advising his transition team warned in a Zoom briefing in the final weeks of 2020, according to people with direct knowledge of the briefing. That jump, they said, could provoke a political crisis. Chaos was the word the advisors had used in a memo during the campaign. They offered a range of options to avert that crisis by better deterring migrants. Mr. Biden seemed to grasp the risk, but he and his top aides failed to act on the recommendations. The warnings came true and then some. After Mr. Biden became president, migrant encounters at the southern border quickly doubled, then kept rising. New arrivals overwhelmed border stations, then border towns, and eventually major cities like New York and Denver. Anger over illegal immigration helped return Mr. Trump to the presidency, and he has enacted even more aggressive policies than those Mr. Biden first campaigned against. Mr. Trump has drawn outrage from Democrats by sending masked agents to target migrants, often aided by National Guard soldiers. But a New York Times examination of Mr. Biden's record found that he and his closest advisors repeatedly rebuffed recommendations that could have addressed the border crisis faster and eased what became a potent issue for Mr. Trump as he sought to return to the White House and justify the aggressive tactics roiling American cities today. Former Biden administration officials told the Times Mr. Biden and his circle of close confidants, including Ron Klain, who was chief of staff during Biden's first 2 years, Mike Danilin, Jennifer O'Malley Dillon, and Anita Dunn made two crucial errors. First, they underestimated the scale of migration that was coming. Second, they failed to appreciate the political reaction to the migration, believing that stronger enforcement would alienate Latino and progressive voters, and also that a border surge would not be an important issue to most voters. Those calculations would later prove to be mistaken, with many voters, including Latinos, citing immigration as a reason to support Mr. Trump in 2024. And on and on and on and on it goes. This is an exhaustive piece by the New York Times. 3 weeks after closing the border, the president faced off against Mr. Trump in a debate at CNN's Atlanta studios. Asked why voters should trust him to solve the crisis, Mr. Biden flubbed it. What I've done since I've changed the law, what happened, said Mr. Biden, who had not changed the law. I've changed it in a way that now you're in a situation where there are 40% fewer people crossing the border illegally. Mr. Biden went on, I'm going to continue to move until we get to total ban on the total initiative relative to what we're going to do with the Border Patrol and more asylum officers. I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence, Mr. Trump responded. I don't think he knows what he said either. Within a month, Mr. Biden left the race. The Biden experiment was over. A very different kind of experiment was just beginning. That's how they end it. This is thousands and thousands and thousands of words. It was on the front page of the New York Times yesterday, the Sunday edition. And what it boils down to is that the Biden administration listened to a bunch of highly online white people from nonprofits, people who say the word Latinx or Latinx unironically, and they failed to grasp the magnitude of the problem and the severity of the problem, and they actually believed that if they tried to solve the problem, Latino voters would be mad at them. Why? This is a very key point you understand. It is a very, very key point you need to understand to deal with present issues. The Biden team listened to a bunch of highly online white people who convinced them that if they cracked down on illegal immigration and deported a bunch of illegal immigrants, that they would be making Hispanic voters mad. And so instead, they allowed the border to be flooded and cities to be overwhelmed with illegal immigrants, and there was a backlash. Because the Biden team listened to a bunch of really out-of-touch white people who live their lives online in echo chambers of their own making. I talked about this the first hour. I wanted to spend more time on this particular issue and this particular topic of how the Biden administration got it wrong to tell you I am equally concerned with the Trump administration now doing the same thing. I got an email earlier. I don't know if Karen's still listening. She's a regular listener down in Florida. She says, I agree in deporting everyone living here illegally. Let's talk after removing the criminals never occurs. Because people are getting away with breaking our laws. How many years are enough for someone to get away with it? Where are the consequences? How about if they're on welfare and been here illegally 30 years? I don't want to support them. Do you? This is the reason we have such a massive Hispanic influence in our elections. Are they Hispanic or are they Americans? I'm sure you know that in parts of Miami, people can be born, live, and die without ever learning to speak English. Yeah, I think that's a problem. Spent a lot of time on assimilation today. Here's my concern. She's right. We never have the conversation about what to do after. But also, if you are a highly online white person on the right, you tend to lose the ability to distinguish. And I'm not saying Karen is, by the way, but I am saying the Trump administration is listening to a group of highly online white people who really can't nuance between the gangbangers and the grandmother. Let me stake out my position for you, so there's no nuance here for you. There's no confusion here. I do not think a person who came to the United States of America illegally should ever be granted American citizenship. I do not believe that anyone, no matter how long they have lived here, who came here illegally should be rewarded with American citizenship. I don't think they should. Now, I think that if you were carried here by your parents when you're 2 or 3 years old, and this is the only country you know, that we should not pack you up and send you home to a country you don't know. I think the President of the United States has secured the border of the United States, and we have 0 illegal alien crossings that we know about. I think the President's team should prioritize rounding up the people who've come here under the Biden administration. Let's ignore the grandmothers who've been here for 30 years. Let's ignore for a moment the kids who have been here. They're now 20 and 30 somethings. They're illegal aliens. They've lived here their whole lives. They don't know any other country. Let's ignore them for a moment. We know that when the people came across the border from the Biden administration, they were documented and released into the country. Because we know they came here illegally, were documented by the Biden administration, released, we know who they are, and we can say, you got to go home. We're going to start with the gangbangers. We're going to start with the criminals. And then we're coming from the people who came here 2 years ago illegally. They're still in the country. Biden team processed them and said, stay here. Those are the people we go first. We find them and we deport them. What then do we do with the people who came here during the first Trump administration, the Obama tenure, the Bush tenure, the Clinton tenure, the other Bush tenure, the Reagan tenure? What do we do with them? Here's my solution. If they have not broken the law, pause, because you're yelling right now. They crossed the border illegally, breaking the law, and they came here, and ever since, they haven't broken the law. They haven't taken they haven't been on the public dole. They found a job. They've worked peacefully, keeping to themselves and their own community. What do we do with those people? Because they exist, and you know they exist. That's the problem that Hispanic voters have right now. This is why the Biden administration swung wildly to the left and alienated Hispanic voters who are legal American citizens who vote. The reason, and I would disagree with Karen, the reason she says we're having Hispanic influence on our election, we're having a Hispanic influence on our election because we have a massive pool of Hispanic voters in the country, and they happen to be Hispanic. They're Americans, but they're of Hispanic origin, and they don't like illegal immigration. But what they also don't like is the cruelty in the process where someone has lived here for 30 years, has not broken the law since they illegally crossed the border, no other law breaking, and we're gonna find that grandmother and send her back to some country she hasn't been to in 30 years before we get rid of all the gangbangers, the criminals, and the people who came here during the Biden administration. I want to be really clear here. You can disagree with this. I don't care. I'm trying to explain to you, though, that a lot of Hispanic voters in this country, they are of Hispanic origins, they are Americans, they don't want illegal aliens here, but they also think it's really cruel to go round up the grandmother who's been here for 30 years before you get the gangbangers and the people who came here 2 years ago. What I'm trying to tell you is that the Trump administration has gone so far, the hyper online right, they've overplayed their hand in the way the Biden administration did. You have two groups of political classes in Washington, D.C. who can't nuance the issue because they're driven to the extremes of round them all up and throw them all away. Or don't round any of them up and throw any of them away. As opposed to find the people who came here during the Biden administration, all of them, criminal or not, get rid of them. Find the people who are the criminals and the gangbangers, get rid of them. And once you've gotten all of those people out of the country, then you say, okay, you've been here your whole life, at least a lot of it, 30 years. We're going to, now that we've secured the border and nobody's getting in, have a rational conversation. You've been here for 30 years. You've proven you want to stay, and you're not going to break the law now that you're here. So stay. Just wait. Just listen to me. Stay. But neither you nor your children who came here with you will ever be citizens of the United States. You can stop looking over your back now, but don't you ever attempt to apply for citizenship. Here's your resident alien card. It's got a mark on it to let them know you can never apply for citizenship. They've been here for 30 years. They've contributed to their community. They haven't broken the law since they've been here. Now, I don't know if people are ready for that. I don't know that people can handle that. But I'm telling you that where the Republican position is right now is as extremist to a lot of voters as the Biden position, and not just to Hispanic voters. When you're rounding up the grandmothers and the grandfathers who've been here 30 years ahead of the people who came here 2 years ago, who were documented to have come here from the Biden administration, and the gangbangers and the criminals, you're provoking a voter reaction. And this is my bottom line for all of you, whether you agree with me or not on this. You alone can't preserve your coalition. So you need to decide for yourself what you're comfortable with preserving your coalition for power. And if you're not comfortable with the idea I've articulated, you need to come up with another idea. Because I can tell you that your idea of round every single person up and deport every single person, no matter how long they've been here, no matter what they've done or not done in this country since they've been here, is a political loser for the coalition you need to keep in power. So go build a different coalition if you want. The Biden administration killed their coalition by taking the wackadoo view of let everybody in, no distinctions, no nuance, and we don't care what their criminal background is, we're going to let them in. And that provoked a voter backlash among white voters and non-white voters. But you, on the Trump side, are equally provoking a backlash by not being able to distinguish between the recent arrivals and the long-ago arrivals. Now, you can tell me you don't care, you want them all to go, and that's fine. That's a perfectly valid position. I'm not trying to argue with you. I'm just trying to tell you that if you do that position, you need to be able to replace a coalition of people you just brought to your side in order to maintain power. Now, who are you going to replace those people with? The white wokes who are Democrats? The suburban white rich people who've decided to vote Democrat and don't care about transition? Who are you going to replace these people with? Because they are conservative, Christian, Hispanic voters who agree with you on everything. They just think maybe we shouldn't deport the people who've been here for 30, 40 years. We should deport the people who came here yesterday. You need to figure out how to replace that coalition of people because there's overwhelming amounts of data you're going to lose them, including potentially in Miami, Florida tomorrow in a mayoral election where the Democrats haven't won a mayoral election in over 30 years, and they just might tomorrow because of this very issue and how the Trump administration's handling it.
You're at the intersection of politics, news, culture, and current events. It's the Erick Erickson Show.
252 Cool Day Carrier Traffic Center. Trouble in the Midtown. Crash had blocked all lanes to get it off to the side. Now they're holding the right lane. I-85 southbound. Right at I-75, they're into I-75 and 17th Street. You're slow leaving Georgia 400. Northbound delays filling in from University Avenue as you make your way up past Peachtree Pine Street. Traffic brought to you by John Foy & Associates, personal injury law firm. You were hurt at work and the insurance of a company is denying your claim? Get real. Call John Foy & Associates and let their workers' comp team get you the maximum benefits you deserve. Call John Foy now. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
When the news matters to you.
The massive project at 285 and Georgia 400 has been a big improvement.
95.5 WSB has you covered.
The latest incident comes when a SWAT team is called after a suspect.
Your 24/7 news
They
source.
had no ties to a gang.
When you need the story, all you need to do is listen. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's breaking news station.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-2798. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-2798. That's 800-575-2798. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
WSB Atlanta, WSBB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
If your credit card bills have gotten out of hand, call Consolidated Credit now. If the interest rates on your credit cards are so high, it'll take years to get out of debt. Call Consolidated Credit now. They've helped over 10 million people without destroying your credit. They can reduce your interest rates, lower your total payments up to 50% to get you out of debt fast. For a free consultation, call Consolidated Credit now. The program works.
Call 800-210-4298. 800-210-4298. 800-210-4298.
Consolidated Credit Solutions Incorporated, 5701 West Sunrise Boulevard, Fort Lauderdale, Florida 33313. Licensed by the New York Department of Financial Services and by the Vermont Department of Financial Regulation. Kansas CSO 0019051. Maryland DM 1492. Oregon DM 892. Licensed by the Virginia State Corporation Commission, license number DC83. Service may adversely affect the individual's credit. Non-payment of debt may lead to additional finance charges or collections activity, including legal action. Actual interest rates, length of program, and monthly payment reductions will vary by consumer and creditor. Yours could be higher or lower. Not a loan company. We do not lend money.
Your non-stop news source, 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Get the podcast, live stream, email, and social media links by texting Eric to 33777 now.
Hello there, welcome. It is Eric Erickson. Delighted to have you with me. Let's see. Tom, I want to come to you real quick here before we're out of time. Or Tim, I'm sorry. Tim, welcome.
Welcome. Thank you very much for taking my call. I'm going to try and talk quick. So I agree with everything you're saying about people who came here illegally but have been here for a long time. We should not worry about them just yet. But my question is, if they are granted some type of legal status or a Social Security number, I, as an American citizen, have to pay into Medicaid and Medicare and Social Security, and I expect that when I come to 65 that it's going to be there for me. What about the illegals who have permanent status? Are they going to be granted Medicaid and Medicare and Social Security?
I don't think they should unless they can show they've paid into the system. A lot of them actually do get a quote-unquote Social Security number, taxpayer ID number. But if they haven't and they haven't paid into it, they shouldn't get it. That's my view. Now, my view is that you should go to visioncomputers.com today or call them at 404-COMPUTE and let them build a new computer for you or for someone you love for a Christmas present, or if you need managed IT, they can save you. So if you've got a kid who's in the gig economy, for example, they're working on their laptop all day, and they can't afford any downtime to make ends meet, you can get them a managed IT account with Vision Computers so they always have someone on call that they can call if there's ever a problem with their existing computer. You call Vision Computer at 404-COMPUTE. It's $199 a year for the service per computer, and you can get it for your kid who's in the gig economy and needs their computer working all the time, and Vision can be their call. So 15 seconds or less, they get an answer to help them with their computers. 404-COMPUTE or visioncomputers.com. Let Vision Computers be your IT service and build computers for you.
You can count on it.
You can try and plan for it.
But sometimes it gets the best of you.
Stalled Big Rig 275 southbound the outer loop at 166.
When it stops you from getting where you need to be.
Atlanta's most trusted traffic team gets you there.
You slow just east of Georgia 400.